shower still breaks the neck. That you bend.
I was just like, this is what I want to be doing at 5:15 in the morning, scooping out the guts of a pumpkin. This is what my life has become.
Not in here? Jesus. It's not good. It's not a good look for the other employees, you know what I'm saying?
Away. 7, 6.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
My name is Athena. I'm a full-time student working towards being a nurse. I'm a full-time as a CNA in a hospital, and I like adventures. I'm also transgender.
Oh, my. Whoa!
The transgender people love you. Hold on here, Lummy. Down to Earth 82, Lummy. What do you think about that?
Is that her age?
I think it's probably the year she was born in.
I don't know. She looks transgender, but she's probably a real woman.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge
Broadcast
Show.
rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge Show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of your listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is strictly prohibited.
Bubba the Love Sponge Show. I wonder what the excuse will be today. The doctor made it in. I'm sorry, the doctor, and who's also doesn't moonlight, but is also a full-blown attorney. And then Brian Matroni. Are you a 10-year veteran of law, Brian?
More than that now. 12, almost 13. No, now 13.
Trying to sound sexy.
13.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show, and I'm here as well. But our co-host, Janessa, is not here. So I don't know. And Blitz, is it me, or does it seem like she is just like when she first started, she was getting here about 15 till, and now she gets here like Manson used to?
Yeah, 1 minute before the show.
Yeah, like that's kind of a bad look, don't you think?
A little bit.
Yeah, like I don't think that's a good look. Like I think you need to get here. I don't know. I just don't think it's a good look walking in 1 minute before the show starts. Kind of makes you. Does anybody have any idea where she's at?
Did you call her?
No, I
have
yeah, well, thank you, Dan, for that suggestion. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, buddy.
Donkey Teeth BTLS with $4.99 in Super Chat.
All right, here we go here. Oh, my phone's not reset. Damn it. So I can't.
And the shower lights are off.
And the shower lights are off. Jesus. I'm all out of my sink. Do I have my shower guy in there?
So I should shake stoned Joey Logano's hand after the shower, not before the shower.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I shook his hand this morning. I should have refrained.
No, yeah. I mean, you're pretty resilient on the germs.
Yeah, I can touch a lot of stuff.
Joey's in there scrubbing up. That's what we have to do. Is we have to have it a part of your job in order for you to, in order for this guy to shower, because he won't shower normally. That's kind of.
He's got the sweetest gig right now in the world. He gets to sleep in later. He gets to come into the show and get paid on the clock to shower.
In shorts.
Well,
So does he ever get clean, or does he just like get like 80% clean?
the soap seeps through.
Does it seep?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you could think that he could reach down there, open the waistband up and get a good, right?
Well, he's getting some good action on his feet.
Yeah, he's getting some real
Yeah,
good.
because what he does is he uses his toothbrush on his feet, and then he immediately brushes his teeth.
Come on.
Are you
What's he do with
serious?
this? What's he do
You're
with
not
the toothbrush
serious.
on his
Oh, you'll
feet?
see. You'll see.
By the way, we're live on YouTube this morning instead of Twitch. This is Janessa. We're calling her.
Yeah, wake her up.
Hello.
The only thing that would save her is if there was a woman that was sleeping beside her.
Right. There better be another girl's voice there.
We said that that's the case. You can be late.
She's going to grab her friend now.
She's going
She's
down.
going to the
yeah.
neighbor. She's going to the neighbor's house.
She's knocking.
Can you just be? Hello?
Hello?
Where you at?
Good morning.
I'm home. I just woke up.
Rough night?
No, not really.
You got a girl in your bed?
You got a girl in your bed?
Maybe.
That's what would save you right now, if indeed there was.
Mm,
Do you know what time it is?
yeah, 6 o'clock.
You're not supposed to be anywhere?
You're not supposed to be anywhere?
I'm supposed to be at work.
Yeah, all right. This is your work calling.
I know.
Yeah. So,
And work is waking me up, and I'm still in bed.
Sorry for calling you waking
yeah,
up.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry for disturbing your day. Didn't mean
You're
to.
not disturbing. You're not disturbing me, Big Daddy.
So, what happened? Did you oversleep? Did
No,
you?
I totally forgot my alarm.
And there is no girl there.
There is no girl, my
Yeah.
God.
Okay. Well, are you going to come in, or you just want to stay at?
Yeah,
your...
I'm coming in. No, I'm coming in.
Okay. All right. You drive safely.
I will.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Wow.
So how long of a commute is it from her bedroom to this place?
Probably
40 minutes.
Yeah, more. Probably 45.
She'll be in here around 8.
I'm thinking, okay, it's 6:04 now, and I should probably legally cover my ass. Oh, damn it. And text her, don't you think, my two lawyers, and say, please do not drive recklessly or speed while coming to work.
That was not the tone of somebody who was in a rush to get in here, but just so you're clear,
Yeah,
I think
but
that you're
hold on.
covered on that.
I think you may be right, but I
But when
think
she wakes
that,
up, she's going to change her tone.
Yeah, but hold on. Don't you think that it would, in fact, I have both of you guys here.
Well,
and
she's
I
been
would,
known to do 120 over the bridge.
Last time she was late, she said she was doing 100. So you being a couple of my attorneys here, I have my text screen open. Help me write a text to her that would cover our ass.
Do not drive recklessly.
Just got off the phone with you.
And I do not want you to drive recklessly or at excessive
Just
speed.
drive safely to
Please
work.
do
Don't
not.
speed.
Please do not
Speed or drive recklessly on the way to
Drive.
work.
Bitch, if you're not here in 20 minutes, you're fired.
Please don't drive recklessly. Please, I can't spell
Just
reckless.
please don't speed.
Please
Drive
don't.
safely.
Yeah, please
That's
do
it.
not. Please
Drive
do not.
safely and speed.
R-E-K
Please don't.
Leslie.
Please don't speed. How about a little less?
Leslie.
Please do not speed and drive safely, right?
Yes.
And drive
That
safely.
covers you.
Yeah, and drive.
And you can do one more and say, text me when you leave. And that way you can text her back and say, I'm not expecting you here for 40
No,
minutes.
I'm not doing any of that. I'm
That's,
just.
yeah, you're going way too far
Yeah,
with
I'm
this.
just saying. Just got off the phone with you. Please don't speed and drive safely.
Because text me when you leave could imply that you're
texting and
timing
driving.
her. You're timing her, and if
Right,
she-
you are.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're saying it's like a rally, though.
Yeah.
You have to do it in exactly 38 minutes,
No.
not 40, not 36.
No,
you can't
Dan.
control traffic.
Boom. Just got off the phone with you. Please don't speed and drive safely. That's.
Big Daddy. Do you sign it Big Daddy?
No,
or-
I did not sign it, Big Daddy. I don't
Plus,
know if that would hang up.
she's
hold
had
up.
she's had the worst luck. Like, how many times has she been right behind an accident on the way in? Been like 3 or 4 times, isn't it?
Yeah, like this last week. Joe, are you there? Or is he already out? Is he already out?
I just got out, Bubba.
All right. We didn't get to see the cleaning the toe jam. We didn't see toe to mouth.
He
I
didn't.
realized that I didn't.
That's kind of the high spot. Like, first of all, I don't.
He brushed his teeth, but he did not do the toe to mouth.
Oh, okay. That's not a mandatory deal, but you seem to have been done it the last couple of times, your toe to mouth. But hey,
You seem to have been done it.
yeah, that's great.
I realized that I've been taking care of the goats with sandals, and it might not be the most sanitary thing.
Do the goats like their new pen
He
area?
just now realized that.
Yeah, because it's sanitary for me to brush my toes with my toothbrush.
If I
and then
wasn't
my
around
teeth.
goats, I would totally do
Totally
it.
do it.
but-
Totally do it.
Well, it's the whole sandals thing. If you had closed-toe shoes, you would do it no
Yeah,
problem.
I realized the black stuff under my nails wasn't dirt.
Listen to me. How do the goats seem to be liking their new fence, courtesy of Wolf Fence?
Wolf Fence was the best. They did it in a timely fashion.
I know
and
they
was
did
really
it in a
good.
timely fashion. How do the goats seem to be liking being pinned up in that area?
They like it. They're utilizing their little barns a little bit more, and
All right, thanks, Joey. Thanks, appreciate it.
WULFF.com for all your fencing needs.
WULFF fence.com.
Okay, so it's not to keep out
Three-
wolves.
It's 3 F's. No, it's wolf. It's a German
There's
kind of
3 F's in there? What's the extra F for?
Fence.
Fantastic?
Fence,
Oh.
you dildo. The guy's name's Austin Wolf. And his last name is WULFF. Well, wolffence.com has 3 F's in it because you got the F in fence.
The effing fence.
Got the
You
effing
got the
fence.
effing fence.
Yeah.
You got the effing
You
fence.
did get the effing
I
fence.
did. And you need to get an effing fence too because it kicks ass. Wolffence.com.
That's awesome.
The German stuff is great.
We put the extra effing fence.
We did. WULFFFENCE.com. Wolffence.com. One-stop shopping for your fence needs, including being the official fencer of the Bubba Love Sponge show.
With the sword and the
On
white
God.
That keeps my goats out of mischief. What are goats protected by? Wolf Fence with 3 F's.
Keep
Get
all
an
the-
effing fence.
Keep all the bad stuff away.
So what have you guys been up to?
You don't want a wolf guarding the hen house, but you'll have a wolf guarding the goat house. You know what I'm saying?
That's a zing zing
Wait,
zinger.
yeah, where is
that?
Pew,
Where is
pew,
Janessa
pew,
when you really
pew.
need her?
That goes straight for an Annie Knight.
I want the record
So
to show
I,
I did not cause this knot in this headphone cord.
He's a twister.
No, I did not.
Oh, no.
The
You're a
video.
twister. You are a
I'm-
twister.
I'm putting it on the record now. I did not do this.
No, maybe not now,
No,
but
not
probably
ever.
through the years of twisting the headphones.
Twisting the night away.
Is that where Kevin's rock guy sat yesterday?
Yes.
Why does everybody got to put your hands on my goddamn headphone cord?
I'm just showing you this. This is not me.
I knew having everybody in here was a bad idea in my studio.
On a Tuesday?
I'm doing this show alone from now on, so nobody touches my stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, what we could do is just take the headphones and lock them up, and people that are going to come into my studio, it's not a privilege. I don't have to. That'd be like me going to Dan's and I have to bring my own Botox. Like, I mean, he'll inject me, but I got to bring it. No, bring your own. You need to bring your own headphones.
Well, I think you're.
Yeah, I made completely no sense.
Yeah,
there.
it was totally backwards.
So, do you want me to bring headphones or do you want me to use your headphones?
No, I
Just
don't-
tell me the rules.
I don't care.
I can follow rules.
He did. He asked politely for my seat this
I
morning.
just would like everybody that is using my headphones that not to put them in the type of conundrum that Brian has them currently in.
Brian inherited.
Yeah, okay, Brian, that's great. Looks like you're doing arts and crafts over there. Why don't you not worry about that and worry about being funny on the air, and then you can untangle your headphones when we're off the air.
We have lots of arts and crafts today, too, don't we?
Yes, we do. And I don't know how appealing or entertaining it is. You over there trying to untangle your headphones. Step up to the microphone like a big boy and stop worrying about your extra sketch, headphones over there.
Well, I got to go to jail this week.
Or not, and not listen to me.
Oh, I thought we were over that. I'm sorry.
Well, are you ready to go now, Brian?
I've been
Can
ready.
you participate?
I'm watching you on the screen. You
I know.
haven't been ready.
There's a delay. There's a slight delay.
All right. So today's lineup, myself, Janessa, she'll be at least an hour late, maybe longer.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say she's probably not even left yet because you know how chicks are.
Right.
Got to put a little bit of makeup on.
They don't have to go to the bathroom though in the morning. I've figured that out. They don't.
Us dudes can get ready literally, including a shower, in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm talking out the door. I'm talking brush your teeth, quick shower, clothed, grab your stuff, and out the door in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Soup to
maybe
nuts, 10
maybe
minutes.
12.
15 is easy.
15
15 is
easy.
12 for Brian.
Yeah,
10
12.
for
He's
everybody
got to put
else.
some hair product
Well, I do have to
in.
put a
just
little
throw
product,
hat on.
but I mean the teeth alone take 3 minutes.
Well,
if he
not everybody has Donny Osmond teeth like you.
Well,
if you use
you brush for
Q-tips-
2 minutes.
Q-tips add another minute or two.
No, I brush my teeth in the shower while I'm peeing.
Yeah, I use.
That's efficient.
That is efficient.
I pee down the drain, wash my teeth,
Take a dump.
water in my
All at the same
water
time.
in my hair as I'm brushing my teeth and I'm peeing. Then boom, then I wet my hair, put my shampoo on, get my bar of soap, wash my butt, wash my testicles, wash my arms, my face. Try to swipe my little legs if I can. Rinse off, dry underwears, socks, new shorts, new shirt, T-shirt, keys, wallet.
That's
yeah,
10 minutes.
That's 10.
That's 10 minutes.
That might be 7 minutes. Bubba
Yeah.
can probably get out
I
the
could.
door in 7.
It takes a minute to dry.
I literally, no, not me.
Not him. I'm super. I dry myself.
The water repels off them.
Yeah, whatever.
Do you think they should have a shower though, Bubba? Like the car washes, the do-it-yourself car washes, where it changes like from water to soap to everything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Would that be great if you could just hit a button in your shower and all of a sudden you just get soaped up like a car wash?
Yeah, but
you know
the
how
thing
well those car washes work?
Yeah. You need friction. I mean, you really I'm not a washcloth guy. Some people have to have a washcloth. I'm a bar of soap in my hand.
I'm the same guy. I'm the same guy. I'm not like a loofah.
No. I have a loofah that like on a Saturday.
But you
if I
still
got
use
little
a
extra
bar
time.
of soap, though?
Yep.
I use a bar of soap.
Yep. I use a bar of soap. Dial. I use Dial.
I use Lever 2000.
Brian, I guarantee.
I use Keels with oat bits.
See,
in
I
it.
hate that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Not
it's so
saying-
nice.
Hey, Bub,
it's
do you
the
like
best, smoothest,
I guarantee
clean.
you, though, Brian, you're not a bar soap taking them around your testicles kind of guy, are you?
What, the bar?
Yeah.
No, I respect my wife who shares
Well, I'm
my
a bachelor.
soap with me. Yeah.
And for
Yeah,
the most part,
that bar goes everywhere.
yeah, that bar. I mean, I'll stick that bar up my butt.
No, I don't.
Just
I don't.
halfway.
I can't. My arms won't reach, but I'll lather my hand up like you.
You'll
would,
sure
like,
try.
Listen, I'll lather my hand up, and then I go ahead and and take it right around the farm too. Don't tell me that when you're washing your butt, you don't, give yourself a little around the rim.
Oh,
You have
10
to.
minutes.
It's like a Q-tip.
Yeah, you use your finger as a little, when you just get it all, and you just go bam, bam.
I
and you,
use
like,
the
get any of that
shampoo.
toilet paper.
I
or
use the
anything.
shampoo a little bit for that. I use the shampoo on my armpits and then on my
Dan,
my butt.
I got something to tell you. Okay?
Sure.
And so I got to ask you clinically as a doctor,
Sure.
and I was gonna. Now that we're talking about our daily rituals of showering and things,
Here we go.
I have this one thing that I've discovered that I really like,
Oh, no.
and
Pegging?
no.
No, he's known about that
Are you
for a long time.
projecting? So I just most recently got when I moved into this new place, one of those heads, the water pick deal that has like the 10
Shower
different
massager?
Yeah.
I used to get in trouble with that as a kid.
Yeah, I'm sure. So
Long showers.
So my final thing that I do is I always take it off and squirt it on my butthole.
Right?
I mean, I always try to and just really
Like a shower bidet.
Yeah, like irrigate it all out, so it's really good, right?
Right.
Well, one day I'm doing this, and my hand hits the thing that controls
The ring?
the temperature.
Oh.
The temperature, and it gets kind of hot, like pretty hot, and and it goes to my testicles. Ooh. And it felt.
Did you burn your taint?
No,
Oh.
no. I like to squirt hot water on my testicles now. Every day on my every shower I do, I end it with I
scald my
I don't scald it, but it seems like it's too hot on any of part except my testicles.
So it can tolerate it. It's like a jacuzzi dip.
And it feels good. Like I don't orgasm or nothing, but it feels like, whoa, that feels good.
It's a special skin. It's like
What
elbow
is it?
skin.
So I'm asking you, Danny, why do I like to have hot water on my testicles? Is that uncommon?
I don't think it's uncommon.
Most people just haven't discovered
that skin
it.
is different. That skin acts differently. It reacts differently.
Is it like elbow skinned?
It's not quite like elbow skin, but that skin is also designed to heal immediately. That's the quickest healing part of your body is like your taint area.
And your
that groin.
testicle?
That whole area, yeah.
Why does it have super healing powers?
It needs to. Think
Because
about
of how
it.
dirty it is.
If you get injured there, think about how contaminated the injury is going to be.
Does
And
your
think about how
body
important it is.
know that?
Yep.
So your body knows, okay, because this is an area.
Does my skin have a brain?
Is my testicle smarter than my head?
Maybe.
Well,
Are my balls smarter than my brain?
for a lot of your life, you let them do the thinking.
Yeah,
So if you
true.
think about evolution and function over time,
Maybe you can
there's
call me
certain
Hot
areas-
Balls or something like that. It's my new name. Hey, here comes Hot Balls.
Hot Balls.
Now, I don't want to put a Bic lighter on them or nothing, but boy, that water, hotter water on my testicles feels really good. And then I try to go as hot as I can. Then it hurts.
It
Like,
feels
ah!
good. Well, it feels good when you first sit down into a jacuzzi too, when it's extra hot. That
Yeah.
part of your body doesn't really hurt. It hurts to get to your belly button, but when you stick your butt in the
Oh,
jacuzzi,
my belly
that part
button's
doesn't
like a
hurt.
wading pool. Like, I mean, my water bill would go up 50% if I had to fill my belly button up.
Requires chlorine.
Yeah, I mean, no, I clean my belly button, but I just jam the soap in there, like the bar of soap in there.
The whole
Exactly.
bar.
You can fit a bar of soap in your belly
No,
button.
I can
hold
fit the
it.
corner in there. Jesus, you guys are dumb.
So I burdened the crap out of myself once on a bidet. I was up in my brothers used to have this place in Miami.
butthole?
Oh my god! And I had never used this. I'm not like a big bidet guy, but there was a bidet, and I decided I wanted to use it. So I
See, the
sat
thing
on
with me
it.
is I got so much real estate.
How old were you, Dan?
40.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if it was recently or
No,
yeah,
it
as
was
a
like
kid.
10 years ago.
So
in
you-
Miami.
Okay.
You're sitting on this bidet at this condo that you guys own in Miami, right?
Well, I'm sitting on the toilet.
And a
Once it's
bidet
done-
is kind of a Miami thing, like it's, you
Bid-
know.
Oh, yeah.
bidet.
It's
Bidet.
Yeah, whatever.
Bidet.
Baudet.
Baudet.
My bidet.
I was sitting on a
Bodega.
bidet.
I was sitting on a
That's
bodega.
what Gary Grubbs has got, a
a
bidet.
bidet.
I'm Tom Baudet.
All right, so you're sitting on the bidet.
I'm on the bidet
Right.
and getting ready to, crank it up. And I'm trying to figure out which button's which. And I finally hit the right button to get water, but it was just pure hot water.
And were you already squatted?
Oh man, I was all full on squatted, exposed. I mean, I jumped to the ceiling like a cat.
You want an interesting bathroom experience? Go to Tokyo.
What do you mean? What do
I
you
was
mean?
in Tokyo. They have the weirdest, most high-tech toilet seats
Yeah.
that you've ever seen in your life. There's like 30 buttons.
They're like 15 grand.
20 different settings. It's
What?
like
What can it do?
heat, seat warmer,
We'd like the seat warmer.
cleaning different parts of your nether regions. It's crazy. There's
Yeah, like
all these
little wands
buttons.
come out and start shooting water everywhere.
It's
Yep.
insane. Tokyo toilets are insane. Their bathroom tech is way more
above
advanced than
ours.
ours.
Think about it, man. You know what? There's not been a lot of advances in the,
Oh, there have.
bathroom area for us Americans. Like,
I think the preparation H wipe is the best invention of the last 20 years.
That witch hazel.
Witch hazel wipes you can flush.
the only thing about those is that it seems to put like a little film on my anus. And,
It's protection.
oh, okay.
It's like sunblock.
Protection.
But that's, I mean, I don't know that my anus needs protection.
Sure, it does.
It's not fighting off a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's fighting off sweat and heat and friction.
Here's a photo of the remote control that's
Dingleberries.
attached to Japanese toilets. And it's got all these buttons and settings. It's crazy.
Do you have the ability to send me anything, or you got to send it to Cave to flip it back over
I could
here?
send it. I don't even know. I guess I could email it to
All right,
Kate.
so
You just search like Tokyo toilets or Toto
Yeah.
high dollar toilets.
Japanese toilets.
So today's lineup, myself, Janessa, she's on her way in. I'm thinking Dr. Diaco and the babyface Brian Matroni, Blitz on the other side of the glass. Now today, during the show, Dan and Brian, they're a team, and they're going to carve their pumpkin during the hot mic segments. So I don't know if Bye Boy or Joey Logano needs to bring in like. And I thought you guys would do it from the kids' mic area. Or no, you guys can do it right from where you're doing it there, where your seats are, because that way we can have it on camera. So during the hot mics, we'll have you guys work on your carving project, because we're going to carve our pumpkins as a show after today about 10:10, and you guys obviously have things to do, and you have to start your daily business, the things that you actually get paid for, not carving
Start
pumpkins.
real life.
You got to start real life at 10.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
So during the hot mic segments, which you could watch this all on YouTube, youtube.com/Bubba Army. You could watch Dr. Diaco and Brian carve their pumpkins during this show, hot mics, and then we're going to do ours at 10:10. Blitz and Cave are a team. Janessa and Colton are a team. Me and Sirach are a team. And Stone Joey Logano and Lummox are a team in the Great Pumpkin Carve-Off deal. Lightning got beat last night. Did you see that?
Whoops.
Oh man.
Up 1-0 going into. It seems like the second periods where they collapse. They didn't collapse. It was 1-1 going into the third. Then Rangers threw in 3. Did you see that? 4-1.
Yeah, it's
Lightning get beat.
awful.
And then I think the Nationals pushed to a game 7
They overcame
Yep,
some
they sure
controversy
did.
and they forced a Game 7. This so I don't know what it is for Game 6 and Game 7, but only 3 times in Major League history before this series, or including this series, has the road team won every single game.
Oh, really? That's right. So the Nationals took the first 2 in Houston. Then Houston took 3 in a row in Washington. Now the Nationals come back to Houston last night and win. And so now it's Game 7 in Houston because it goes
Tonight.
It
Yep.
goes 2-3-2, right?
2-3-2 for the baseball playoffs, and the road team has won every single game in this one.
What do you guys think about this assistant GM kind of deal and how that's gotten legs? And everybody's just afraid of everything now. And just the thing that you do, if you offend anybody.
Are you talking about the
assistant-
baseball offense? Or are you talking about when they talked about the player that they signed? And they said, like, heck yeah, we signed him in front of the girl reporters?
Yeah.
Female reporters?
Right. And at
You know,
first they came out. At first they came out and they like, listen, you know what? Blah blah blah. We stand behind our guy. It wasn't directed to them. And then one day later, Brian, you're really up to speed on it. Then one day later, they about face. They fire the guy, and like, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like everybody's afraid of everything.
Well, I would say again,
Are you afraid to comment on it?
I don't know. No, I don't know why he was terminated. I don't know if he was terminated as a knee jerk to the public reaction,
I'm sure.
or they got video or had some sort of proof that what he was, and he lied to them. And if he lied to his employer about what he did and how he acted and what he said and how it was directed to the female reporters
Different
or at
situation
them, then it's a And so, without knowing, I don't like to jump to conclusions on these things.
But I'd like to know the evidence that they used to off the guy. If they have him on tape and it was directed at the guys, at the girls, and it was as condescending as they say it is, then I kind of understand in conjunction with him lying. But if this is just a knee jerk and they don't have any audio and what have you, I kind of got a problem with it.
You know, Bubba, it's like if you have a room full of dogs and you put a couple of cats in there, and if one of the dogs barks at the cat, you beat the dog. You know, I don't think the locker room sacredness is where it should be. And I think after a big win, the media, the support staff, all the jabronis that are associated with the team that really have nothing to do with the team, the front office people should be the hell out of the locker room. Let the guys celebrate and do their thing. And they have the reporters and all those jabronis come in.
Well, it's like we've
20 minutes later.
We've almost allowed them so much access.
Too much.
That
Yep,
stuff like
too
this.
much.
That stuff like this happens when guys and athletes are together in a celebratory type way.
There should be
But
some
that's a- but
sacredness to
that's
the
a-
locker room, Bubba. It
but-
was nothing left the locker room. It was you and the coach, and that's it.
Well, this is just their only time they're in there for moments like this, where the coverage is more than just the normal post-game presser, is following a big victory. And so,
But still, Dan says there needs to be a cooling off
yeah, but
period.
with the
exactly.
but they want the celebration. With the big TV money, this comes along with it. The contracts can't be as big as they are without the TV money. The TV money is what it is because they want to show this stuff because that's
The reality
what
portion of it,
people
right?
That's
want
fine.
to see. So you
Put a guy
can't
in there
have
then.
you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Which is why females should not be in a male locker room, period. It was a mistake 30 years ago. It was a mistake 10 years ago. It's still a mistake.
Listen to me. We don't. Male reporters don't have
Zero.
access to.
Zero.
Hey, listen. I would love to go with the U.S. soccer team. There's some hot chicks on there.
You ain't getting in there.
I would love to be a reporter, and when they have their vaginas hanging out and their boobs hanging out because they just got out of the shower, I'd love to ask them some questions.
Yep.
Well, this is a
It's
different.
hot.
This
It's
is
for TV. It's for the ratings.
Oh yeah, everybody
well,
wants to.
the female reporters are not in there while the men are
Yes, they
showering.
are.
Bull.
Boy.
I've been
No,
in
no,
there,
no,
bro.
no,
You're
I'm
wrong,
talking about.
Brian.
I'm
You're
talking
wrong.
time out. I'm talking about in this instance. They were there covering the post-game celebration. Nobody showers. They shower in beer and champagne, and they give statements. And it's a media event. It is a media event now. That's what it's become. If you want to make it a private thing, then
They need
No, but
15
Brian-
minutes of private,
but Brian-
then you kick the media in.
But Brian, hold on. Dr. Diaco has firsthand knowledge because he was the team doctor for the Bucks, and he saw firsthand.
And let me tell you
women,
something.
hold on, women walking
I
in with
understand
guys'
that,
dongs hanging
but that's
out.
Yep.
different than this situation.
No, it's not.
That is
Because
it's
here's-
different.
here's
it's
another
different. The
situation,
fact
Brian.
that they were women had nothing to do with the men showering or
Okay.
improper access to the opposite sex.
Bubba, here's
This is
an
just
example that-
hold
that-
on, I'm not
that
done
Brian
talking.
can't- are you
This
still
is just
talking?
covering This is just covering an event that happens post game. This is not a shower session or anything like that.
I know that this particular instant
yes,
is
that's what we're
that.
talking about.
The whole time.
But this is sort of the thing that sets it up. Go ahead, Dr. Diaco.
Here's an example. This is something that not a lot of people can say. When the Bucks won the Super Bowl, I was the third guy in the locker room after the Bucks won the Super Bowl. It was Sap, Dad, me.
So you're one of the jabronis that had no business being in there.
I was one of the doctors.
No business being in there is what you said, right?
No, it wasn't. I was.
Hold on.
I was essential.
That's what he said.
I was essential.
So you don't think the GM that assembled the team is essential?
No, he is.
I'm not saying the GM shouldn't be there.
Okay.
But
I'm saying
Aaron
you
Andrews
said the players.
Aaron Andrews
let the
shouldn't be
players have their 15 minutes. I'm just
let
pointing
the team.
out
I think he meant let the team.
Let the team.
Okay.
Let the team, the players, and that's the guys that went to the practices. I would go to practices. I go
The
before
GMs
practice.
are there.
The
Listen.
GMs aren't always in the locker room right after the game. They do go in quickly afterwards. But after the Super Bowl, they gave us 5 or 10 minutes to celebrate by ourselves.
Let me just give you the double standard that we have. These two girls, these two hot chicks, these Instagram chicks that flashed their knockers on in Game 5, I think it was.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Major League Baseball now has sent them letters and said that there's a lifetime ban on.
Really?
For
lifetime?
Lifetime from every park,
yeah.
any major league event.
Or
Can they do
minor.
that?
Yeah.
Any major league or minor league facility, they can never step
I
foot
don't
on
think.
it.
So you
I
can
don't
beat
think
up another guy in a game and get kicked out for that game. But if you
Yeah.
show your boobs,
Hold on.
you're
Yep.
lifetime
Hold
ban.
on.
Puritarian
But hold
society.
on. Hold on now. So and that's what they got. They didn't get arrested. They're not, But if a man had flashed, he would have been arrested and been deemed a
Pedophile.
and had to have registered as a sexual offender. There has been college guys that have mooned. Now, when you moon somebody, unless your testicles are real, but the average guy who moons somebody, you can't see the guy's testicles and penis. You can just see his ass. And now hold on. And there are people that have mooned school buses before and are now registered sex offenders. And so, how can a woman, expose her knockers on national TV and nobody's saying nothing? But if that had been a guy, it would have been a different story.
No, you're right. It's a double standard.
Yes.
It's a double standard. But I'm all for the seventh inning tits instead of the seventh inning stretch.
Well, Brian, you can't say that.
Oh, the T word?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. God. You know what? Bubba the Love Sponge finally gets his act together and is compliant, and his lawyers are the ones that get him thrown off the radio.
More of the Bubba Radio Network after this.
Oh, that's how YouTube
I can
works?
say it on
Okay, so
YouTube.
we got YouTube rules,
Yeah.
Twitch rules,
Hey,
FCC
welcome to my
rules.
world.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Sorry about that, Bubba.
And then you have YouTube also has different rules copyright wise than Twitch. So my bump in music has to be different. Like it's I got 5 sets of rules I gotta go by.
Sorry about that, Bubba. I brought cookies and donuts.
I dumped it. Oh, so now you're gonna apply the fat guy with cookies and donuts?
I got to do something here.
Can we start the pumpkin at the next break?
You can start it whenever you want.
Okay.
If you have it done by 10.
Okay. It's
Have the
going
boys
to be
get
done by 9.
Have your boys, or you're out here at 9.
8:45 or 9. Jay's got a phone conference at 8:15 this morning.
Okay.
So I got a surgery.
Let me get my next chip left ready.
Ask the guys. You said you could do it
I
freehand.
meant to do it, but I see it's an idea.
You just draw on the front.
You want to just do it like that? Okay.
You can just draw on the front in
Okay.
a pen.
Okay, we'll do that. Do you have like a black marker?
You need a pen. You need light.
You want to do it in a pen. Well, the black marker might be too thick.
As
And
you were saying, just like literally
just a
like
pen.
A pen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here.
Good to see. Balls in the lights. Like that.
The black pen.
Outfielder.
It goes from pitch black to daylight in here.
Thank you. You got really good surgical instruments. I brought my glasses, so we'll be good. How you doing, Muffy?
Good.
We'll talk about Morty later.
Yeah, I gotta rack up.
Okay.
Thanks, bud.
Yep.
I don't have a daily sheet or anything.
I'll grab you one.
All right, thanks.
Donkey teeth, $4.99. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, super chat, guys. Let's go. Let's see it. Dan will make you a special shout out in the surgery room.
So Dan's not doing it now?
He's going out to get his glasses. He's an old man. He needs his spectacles. The Bubba Light, $14.99, the super chat.
Thank you, Bubba Light.
He's the man. RD Rich, $5 super chat. It says pumpkin glory hole all day.
Dan went out to his car to smoke.
Hey, watch it. He doesn't like that being publicly shared. Everybody close your ears. Don't listen to that last part. Tommy Easy Money with $11.99 in super chat, daring me to take Dan's chair while he does the pumpkin. Well, I'll let you know that Dan asked politely for my seat this morning, seat 3, and I gave it to him. I also took his parking spot. He didn't care as much about that. I'm intentionally chewing into the mic, Kevin. No, you're not Kevin. You called me Kevin. Oh.
Does Dan know not what time to fucking come back in?
Live from the OG Royalty Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. I hate getting superstarred. I hate it. I hate it.
Is superstar, did you come in after you start?
Yes, superstar means that you think that you can literally walk in 1 second. You don't have to prep or be in a ready position. That would be like a guy, I call the play in the huddle, and then you come off the sidelines and just join, get him as a slot. But you don't have to go to the huddle.
I
Just
didn't know
came
you
in off
didn't like that. Now I know.
Well, I mean,
I hear you. Won't do it again.
if you could just be here 30 seconds before we go on air, that way you're seated, and my peripheral vision doesn't see you going, boom, coming in.
But in my defense, I was actually looking at the email from Caveman this morning at the topics for today. So I was actually doing show prep.
In your defense, that'd be great, but is that all that you did?
I went to the bathroom.
Or do we really want to talk about what you really do? No, hold on. You want to go there, buddy? If we 100%
Brian already spilled the beans and said that Dan went outside to get his glasses.
Yeah. But if Dan wants to truly be honest and we talk about everything that he did, he didn't want that to go.
I was doing things simultaneously.
But there was.
I love that his excuse was he had to read an email on his phone, which apparently is tied to his car outside the studio.
Which is tied to a cigarette. Just like, don't go there. Just say,
Just own it. Just own it. Sorry, Bubba, it won't happen again.
Don't come in with this. I was reading an email from Cave. Like, you're insulting my intelligence.
Yes. Sorry, Bubba, it won't happen again.
Sorry about that, buddy.
Sorry about that, buddy.
I gotta say too, Brian, if I had a Ferrari in the parking lot, I'd go out there every break too.
Make sure it's still there.
just to look at it.
He left his keys on the.
You'd live in it, Blitz. You and your dog would live in the
I can't
Ferrari.
even fit in it.
Dan, we couldn't fit in it, could we?
Yeah, you could.
Really?
It's got big seats.
Thanks.
Got big boy seats.
Forhims.com, one-stop shopping, whether it's hair loss, whether it's erectile dysfunction, whether it's skin issues. You can go to forhims.com.
/cactus.
Oh, look at that. I got a little unison deal. Thank you for that. /cactus. 40% of men by the age of 40 struggle with not being able to maintain an erection. Brian, are you there yet, buddy? Or, do you need any Cialis or Viagra or anything like that?
No, I don't. But if I ever do, forhims.com /cactus is where I'm going.
Answer a few questions about your medical history. Chat with a doctor for a confidential review. If you're approved by a doctor, products are shipped directly to your door. Dr. Diaco, you're a doctor, and I know that you probably don't have to wait in waiting rooms very often because all your doctors have VIP stick together kind of deals.
Yep.
But the average guy that wanted to get diagnosed with possible erectile dysfunction has to usually go to your primary, and then maybe he'll assign you to a urologist, and then after that's all shakedown and waiting rooms and filling out forms and waiting
copays
and yippee-yos,
time off of work.
Then you have to go and fight the pharmacy, and most of the time they're like you have to come back 6 hours to get it filled, and it's just an absolute pain in the ass.
Yep.
You can do it from the privacy of your own home with forhims.com.
/cactus.
Real licensed doctor, FDA approved pharmaceutical products. See website for full details and safety information. Prescription products are subject to doctor approval and require online consultation with a physician to determine if the prescription is appropriate for you. Hair loss, skin care issues, or erectile dysfunction. Again, forhims.com
/cactus.
Use the cactus kicker. That lets them know that you are Bubba Army and you get special stuff. Did you guys see where Instagram/Facebook, they're now banning sexual emojis, including the eggplant and peach, and nude photos that use these emojis covering their, nipples or things like that. Like, seriously?
Come on.
Like, for instance, this right here. Facebook has updated its guidelines banning the use of commonly sexual emojis, including the eggplant to the left, the peach to the right, and water drips.
So they can do like terrorist beheadings, but they can't do a peach?
Yeah.
They can't do the water drip either?
Yeah,
Nope.
I guess you can't do the water drip either. Like, what is becoming? Like, what is going on?
Well, it's a corporate. It's a corporation, and they're making a choice. And if you don't like it, there are other platforms where you can still use your sexual
Do you notice
charged
now
emojis.
that? Do you ever notice now that everything is, if you don't like it, then you can F off and go somewhere
Everything's
else?
always been that way.
5 years ago, the gun emoji looked like a real gun. And then 4 years ago, it kind of looked a little more cartoonish. 3 years ago, they changed it to bright green. And now it doesn't even look like a gun at all anymore.
Yeah, you can't even have a gun.
Well, the NRA can put out their own downloadable emojis if they want, and make money with a bunch of guns.
Or, Brian, we could have just kept the same stuff we had 3 or 4 or 5 years ago because that seemed to be okay. But somebody, I guess, got all sensitive about a gun emoji.
Out.
Snowflake. God, Brian, you're a little bit of a snowflake.
I'm not a snowflake. I'm just saying if you don't like it, go somewhere else.
You have snowflake tendencies.
Go somewhere else.
You can still not like something and use it.
I'm the opposite of it. I'm the opposite of it. I don't care. It doesn't bother me either way. But if Facebook
you should be mad about it. You should be like, that's bull crap that they're like not letting you do, a squirting deal for a squirting deal.
Why would I get mad about something I can't control and really doesn't affect my life?
Well, I'm not mad about it, and I'm not going to control it or affect my life. I just think that it's idiotic. This is just the downward pussification of America. Like, nobody will really stand up and say, yeah, you know what? I'm going to have a T-ball league where the last place team doesn't get a trophy. And I'm going to have, why can't we go back to some old school stuff? You can't. Dan, do you know how much of a dick you would be if we started Bubba and Dan's, Little League and, the ninth, there was 9 teams and the 9th place team got, hey,
Nothing.
Kids, you might want to practice harder next year so that you can maybe get a trophy.
Well, the thing is, this will solve absolutely nothing because what's going to happen is everyone's going to go, okay, for everyone that used a peach, let's use this certain flower emoji.
Exactly, which makes it funny, and then it makes it a game. But here's the real thing:
but it's not funny though.
You vote with your consumerism. So delete the app, stop using Facebook, protest over it. People have to realize you have power.
Everyone is enslaved by Facebook and Instagram.
Then guess what? They're going to continue to do whatever the heck they want. If you don't affect their bottom line, then you're not affecting anything. You can sit here and complain about it all you want.
Yeah, you can still not like it though.
You can not like it, but if it's not enough to drive you away from the platform, then why really complain about it?
I'll tell you why I'm going to complain about it, because you used a word going into the stop set that I used to be able to use, and it's not a problem, especially when I can prove that less than, 3% of my audience is under 21.
Now that's different because here's why it's different, because that's the government. That's the government controlling speech. That's the government controlling speech. That's not a private company like YouTube or Twitter
Where does it start and stop? I mean, where does it stop? It's a slippery slope. Well, the government can do it. Private sectors can
private
do it.
companies can always regulate your speech and your behavior.
Hold on a second. So, Bub, is George Carlin's like the 7 words you can't say? How's that expanded to like 20 words, 30 words?
No, it's like so many more words.
It's 30 words, a few phrases, depending on how you use it.
Like, for instance, Dan, the word dick. Let me do this because I'm a trained professional.
Yes, I don't want to dance on this one.
The word dick. If I said, you know what, quit acting like a dick, that's fine. But if I said, show me your, then it's not fine.
Understood.
You cannot use it as a noun. And so,
but you are still using it as a noun the other way, using it as a description of a person instead of a body part.
If great, Dan. I mean,
it's more of an adjective,
right?
But it's
acting like almost like an adverb.
Adverb, yeah.
But and so here's the deal. There's a lot of words, Brian, that I used to be able to say. Let's say circa '98 rock days, but these words now a-hole.
Oh, by the way, Dan, the 7 dirty words and all that, there is no list of words you can't say. They don't tell you that.
No.
You only find out about it after they find you.
So the FCC, in some instances, most of the time, the word that you said, Brian, is not a problem. But there has been some fines over the years of people using that word. A-hole is another word. To call somebody that is okay. To say that I want to see yours is not. But that's another word that a lot of companies, the FCC hasn't necessarily made it illegal, but like iHeart and Cox, and they're like, we don't want to hear that word.
Well, they removed it because the FCC might find it illegal.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Yeah. So, I know that Facebook and Instagram are private companies, but it also goes to...
In being private companies, I support their right to be able to do this. I just don't think that they should be doing it.
But how do you protest it then? You just whine about it, and then while you're on Facebook, making them money, or do you delete the app, stop using it, and vote with your pocketbook and hit them in their pocketbook?
Well, I don't think. I mean, this is not egregious enough to do that, but you could still complain about it.
But it's a culmination, right?
Hey, if we weren't allowed to complain, we wouldn't have a show. Okay, if we didn't everything was hunky dory and we didn't bitch about stuff, then we wouldn't even be here right now. I mean, the show's not going to be very good if I go, hey, Brian, guess what?
I get complaining about it, but it doesn't make me a snowflake because I don't see the bigger problem.
You're a little
in it.
snowflake.
Yeah, okay.
Do you get mad when we say that?
No, it just doesn't make
He
any
seems
sense.
a little upset.
It just doesn't make sense.
Like almost as if I'd taken your chair or something like that. Like that.
I'm not the one grasping my pearls saying you can't or shouldn't be able to use a peach emoji.
I'm such a little and small person, and I'm so insecure that I have to have seat 3.
Except I'm not, and Dan asked very nicely for my seat this morning, and I gladly gave my seat up to him.
I don't know. I just think, man, that's and listen, I'm disgusted over social media. I really am. I wish that my life, I wish I didn't have to participate in all the other ancillary stuff that you have to jump through the hoops in order to make a living.
But you really have to now.
But you have to. You absolutely have to. Every business that's successful, from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to Bubba the Love Sponge to Diaco Plastic Surgery to Hunter Law, has to participate some way, shape, or form in internet, in a social media and or internet presence and or advertising. Do you not?
Yes.
You have to.
It's the way of the world. You have to.
You have to.
Can't ignore it.
You're not. You can't even really be Jimmy's Lawnmower Shop and not at least have a Facebook or an Instagram or like even Jimmy's Lawnmower Shop has to have a Facebook for the most part, does he not?
And we're a slave now to reviews.
Yep.
Yeah.
You are a slave to reviews, and that's a phenomenon that happened because I think of Amazon, and over the last 5 years, people's shopping habits.
It's Google.
Yelp.
Everybody's. But I think it got reinforced by people's shopping habits on Amazon, and the reason is when you go on Amazon and you see 5 different sellers with the same exact product, you go to the reviews.
Dan,
but I think before that it was eBay though.
But people didn't really.
But reviews in general, it doesn't matter
gospel.
it doesn't matter what particular company it is. Everything is based on review. Whether it's Amazon, whether it was eBay prior to that, whether it's Google reviews, whether it's Yelp, but everybody.
Well, the problem with Google reviews is you Google somebody and it comes up and it says, "Hey, here's who they are, and here's their how many stars they have." So it's very important because it's the first thing you see when you Google somebody now,
right?
Yep.
Or a company.
Yep.
And there's no way to question it or to fight it, and that's the problem, especially for
because
you can actually.
Oh, you can
They're very
contact
slow
Google
to respond. They're very slow to respond. It's pulling
I'll tell you,
teeth.
Facebook is actually pretty good at that on fake reviews or people. Because if you write a review for a company that you've never been to or whatever, the company can contest it, and they're pretty quick on deleting it.
But here's the deal, man. We're all bitches to the trolls.
Yep.
The trolls control everything.
Sure.
If you're Jimmy's Lawnmower Shop and Fred's Lawnmower Shop has a couple of his boys that are pretty prolific on the Twitter deal and on the hacking deal, he buries Jimmy's Lawnmower Shop through the troll type deals, complaints, Google reviews and what have you. And Jimmy's Lawnmower Shop doesn't have a chance in hell. It's who's got the stronger troll game. I mean, our presidency came down to that, did it not? I mean, aren't they saying that? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, just statistics will show you what Trump spent on Facebook ads.
And Obama did it in 2012.
He did. Yep.
He was one of the first ones to.
I don't know
really
why Hillary didn't listen.
She didn't. She did not. She ignored it. She was old school.
That's the sin of hubris. She thought she was a shoo-in. She thought it was there was no way that she was going to lose. She was promised the presidency following, stepping down in 2008 to let Obama have it, and she took it for granted, and she got what she deserved.
She got. Didn't she win wasn't just one of the very few? It's happened a few times.
Yeah, she won the popular, lost the electoral college.
But that's not the game. The game is the electoral college.
We know that, Dan. Nobody's questioning whether or not who the right president is in. We all know that. But she beat him by over 3 million votes. But
And again,
she lost overall.
there's been precedent where this has happened prior.
Well, it happened in 2000 with Gore versus Bush.
And Bush got screwed, did he not?
No, Bush won.
Oh, yeah,
because
Bush won. That's right.
Gore was never our president.
That's because my friend Roger Stone. Was right there in the battlegrounds of the West Palm ballot caper, was he not?
Oh, the tomfoolery of the Florida election. It was a joke.
Chad.
Yep, hanging
I
Chads.
got to be honest with you. I'm really, really worried about Roger.
He's in the middle of a hellstorm right now.
He, starting next week, I think, goes to Washington, D.C. for what they're saying going to be over a month-long trial. And I've been, I've been keeping in touch with Roger, and Roger's not doing good.
But Bubba, you can firsthand pound your chest and say Here's what happens if you really feel like you haven't done anything wrong. Stand strong and fight. And every time you've been successful.
I know, but Dan, and I'm fighting for my life right now on some stuff, but he's fighting the federal government. And
but he's not caving in and just settling and saying, "Listen, okay, we'll just throw me in jail for 6 months or a year."
The evidence that they're suppressing and some of the stuff that they're not allowing, and as a matter of all these final decisions are coming as to it's because they're gearing up for court. Like it goes down. I think next week.
I think
it starts next week in Washington D.C.
Yep.
And the judge is a federal judge appointed by Barack Obama, and she's not allowed Roger to speak about this at all is that common for if you're a media guy? I mean, Roger is a media guy. He had a huge, Twitter and a huge Instagram and a huge Facebook, and he did, daily shows on Fox, and he was one of the political correspondents that Fox would go to, and Alex Jones Info Wars, and Glenn Beck, and Michael Savage, and Hannity, all that little conservative world, so to speak. And the judge said no.
Was it a condition of his bail?
I don't know,
because they can set whatever conditions they want for reasonable conditions they want for bail to let somebody out.
Now they're not allowing, from how I understand it. You guys are lawyers; you might be able to look into it, but they're not allowing the Mueller report.
The Mueller?
Yeah, no, isn't the Mueller or is it Mueller report? How do you pronounce it?
Either way, you're good. Everybody knows what you're talking
about.
All right,
the Robert Mueller report, the one that kind of came up short. I mean, can we not agree that the Mueller report didn't have the smoking gun that they thought? I mean, can we say that?
They were saying that the Mueller report was going to show that Trump was a Russian operative spy and was intimate with the Russians during the entire pre-election and post-election time period. And they showed nothing to that effect at all. So it came short. It dropped. It failed miserably.
It's my understanding that Roger wanted to use it to show that it wasn't because that's inevitably what he's being tried for, is having correspondence with Russia in the election and wiki reports and all this kind of deal. And so he doesn't. Obviously, I don't think he's building this case on the Mueller report or the Mueller report, but he wants to be able to use it to show that if this didn't happen, how can I have been? And they won't even allow that. They're not allowing that to be entered into evidence.
Well, I think they can draw the conclusion in closing arguments. Like, look, there was no collusion.
It's my opinion that you got a federal judge that has been appointed by the most recent Democratic president more than ever now. And I don't want everybody to think that this is Bubba right wing. This is Bubba Limbaugh here, because I'm not. But it just doesn't make sense. This guy's on trial for somewhat helping the current president.
What's the official charge? Brian, do you know the official charge?
Is it obstruction or lying or tampering? Or
they got him on a couple different things, but it's all centers around his involvement with the WikiLeaks people with the emails and whatnot. But I think it's false statements and things like that.
And so, but more than ever now, man, more
witness
than ever,
tampering, obstruction. With an official proceeding and 5 counts of making false statements.
Yeah, that's the big one's the false statements.
I know this. That one of the things that they got Roger on was that the CIA, this is how I understand what happened on this particular instance on one of these counts, is the CIA had a guy who was disguising as a Russian email, hacker guy. And so, but it was really an American CIA guy. And he was just, undercover acting. And he made contact with Roger Stone and asked Roger, I've read this. This is what I've read. If he wanted to buy, some kind of email list or something like that for $200,000. And Roger said, no, I don't. Leave me alone. And because Roger didn't disclose that, and he later was found out that he indeed was, worked for the government, was a CIA undercover. So he wasn't even So if you try to ply somebody with somebody that's undercover, that's not what they say they are, and you say no.
But that's not what he's charged with, though.
He's charged with not disclosing that meeting.
Yeah, when they asked, a few things. When they asked him about it, they're saying he didn't tell them the truth.
You know what
the
it was
problem
my
is,
it was
though,
my
Bubba?
understanding that he didn't even say anything. Like he didn't lie. He just never said I met with an undercover guy that really wasn't who he was, and I didn't do anything, and I didn't take his list.
It all matters how they asked him. If they asked him, did anybody reach out to you to try and sell you information or
And it was a House committee asked him, and he said no, he did not. He did answer
it. I mean, this is isn't this a really trumped up bunch of nonsense? When if the Mueller report came back and indeed all that stuff happened, then I think the charges against him would be more valid. But it's like, this is almost like we didn't get Trump with the Mueller report. Now we're going to go get one of his boys and him up to make it uncomfortable for Trump.
They did that with everyone around them. And the thing is,
Manafort, right? Manafort was one of them.
Well, now Manafort did some things that had nothing to do with Trump.
Yeah, they were
those were
real crimes,
and they were crimes that were already looked at and decided not to be a crime 3 or 4 years ago, and then they revisited it and decided it was a crime.
And they have the right to do that.
And they do have the right to do that, but it's a little scummy to have looked at it, said no problem, then go back and look at it a second time.
A little scummy.
They're all scummy. Every one of them on both sides of the fence. They're all Roger's my friend, and Roger's slippery.
Look, I say if they're guilty of something, if it's Hillary, if it's Rahm Emanuel, if it's Paul Manafort, if it's Roger Stone, prosecute them. That's the only way to clean this crap up, is to prosecute people that break the law.
But here's the problem with what they're going to try to prosecute Stone with, and that is they're going to compare what he says he said with their written notes of the interviews. And so when they say lying to the FBI,
they're pencil whipping them. I got pencil whipped.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you didn't say that. Well, how do you know what I said? You didn't record it. This is your notes based on what you heard me say versus what I'm saying now. And sometimes they will really over a comma, and or an or.
And if that Credico guy testifies against Stone, that's bad too.
I've been pencil whipped by the FBI. It'll never happen again. Do you have, Brian? If you're getting questioned by the FBI, do you have the right to record it yourself?
You can insist on the interview being recorded,
and then they
won't interview you.
Exactly. That's how you get out of it. You say, listen, oh yeah, I'll cooperate, but I'm going to have my lawyer there, and I'm going to have it taped. And they'll say, no, thank you, and arrest you for something else.
Yeah, and arrest you for something else. Spitting on the sidewalk. Did you see where John Morgan is trying to... listen, I might have to call John on this one, because John Morgan now said he has enough signatures on the petition, the ballot, to get the Florida's minimum wage raised to $15 by 2024. He has enough signatures to go on the ballot. I think that small businesses like me, maybe others, that, if you got it, didn't the $15 an hour absolutely backfire in New York on Cuomo or Como, whatever that guy's name is?
It's worked in some places. It hasn't worked in others.
I don't think it works in Florida.
Here's the problem.
We don't have state taxes. Well, there's a lot of things. 15 an hour here isn't the same as 15 an hour in New York.
Here's the problem with just arbitrarily making up this $15 an hour. Minimum wage has not kept up with inflation.
No,
okay,
so
it needs to be higher. But it does not need to be $15 an hour. It needs to be around $11 an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say 12.
$11.65 maybe.
Yep.
But why can't we have any nuance in a discussion on this issue? It's either we can't raise minimum wage at all, or it has to be $15 an hour. Where's the middle ground on this stuff?
Listen, why couldn't they do it based on the profit that a company makes? A company all has to file business taxes and what have you. Some companies did you see where Amazon's not going to pay federal taxes on like $15 billion of income?
They cut some deals, man. They cut some really good deals on the front side.
We've got a terrible budget deficit right now. Spending's going up and tax revenues are going down, and that's not good for deficit.
I don't know that, small businesses that have, 3 or 4 guys that aren't making 15, that are making 11 or 12.
They're not. Most of the time, those businesses are exempt from those kinds of regulations. If it's got to be a certain number of people in the business.
The simple solution is this.
It's the
minimum wage.
8, Dan. The number's 8.
Tie minimum wage, federally make it, tie it, and if a jurisdiction wants to make it higher, that's their choice. But tie it to inflation.
Right.
Have yearly or biannual increases for minimum wage to account for inflation, and then you never have to touch it again because it keeps up with the economy. It'll be a half a step behind, right? Because the year's inflation will be built in, and you won't start making. But so what? So you're a year behind.
Decades.
I say rather than 20 years behind.
Right now, it's years behind. Years and years and years.
I'm the oldest guy in this building, unfortunately.
Speaking of minimum wage, Cable Dog 66 super chat $25. Thanks, Cable Dog.
Super chat on the on the YouTube thing today, guys. Super chat us. Let's have a good day. But and I don't say this with pride. Blitz, maybe you can look up the minimum wage for 1978 because that was the first year that I worked at the Warsaw Park Department.
Probably $1.25.
No, I think
I bet it's like $4.
No, I think it was $3.
$2.65.
Yeah,
January 1st, 1978. The minimum wage was $2.65.
So in the summer of 1978, which I started mowing and working for the Warsaw Park Department, where you had to get a real paycheck, and I worked 40 hours all during summer. I made $2.68 an hour.
Wow.
That's what I made, and was happy.
Hey, that's 3 cents above minimum wage.
For I think they paid $2.75. I think they paid $2.75. I think I saved up all summer and bought a 10-speed, so that I didn't have to ride this stupid bike, and I was able to buy a 10-speed so that I can ride the 10-speed to work more efficiently than my Pee Wee Herman bike that I had.
It says in 78, if you would have worked all summer long for 13 weeks, like a summer break.
Which is what I did.
For 40 hours a week, you would have made $1,378.
That's what I did. I made about...
all summer long.
Yep. All summer long for $1,300.
Wow.
The problem with our economic system, the way it's set up, is it used to be a bunch of privately owned companies or smallly held companies where the money would get back into the communities and go back to the people that are directly tied to the company. Now, everything is a giant, publicly traded, multinational corporation, and only stockholders who are making passive incomes through dividends and through stock shares and things like that are being rewarded with the fruits of the profit of the companies. And so, to me, paying employees more is a good thing, in the sense that, yes, it may hurt corporate profits, but it will help the overall health of the economy because...
And probably the health of the corporation.
I mean,
if you got thousands of employees and they're all a little happier...
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, there's intrinsic benefits to paying your... That's the Henry Ford model, The Ford became the number one auto company in America because he took care of his workors, so he got the best and the brightest.
Which he was ridiculed.
The Bubba Clem method, which I try to keep him down and mad.
Well, your approach is we can compare your approach to Ford's approach, but I think it's too soon, right? We got to wait and see how yours plays out.
Yeah, I do.
Is for increasing teacher pay, but not for increasing the minimum wage. But like it or not, voters and not the governor will decide. Today, personal injury attorney and local businessman John Morgan told me he just reached the number of signatures to get the issue.
So he got weed put on the ballot.
Why does he care?
I don't know.
On the 2020 ballot.
He says he got so much money, he wants to do good things like Peter Pan.
The problem I have with the way we do things in Florida, we elect representatives to come up with the laws. We do not, why bother let's just put everything up for a vote across the state. So every single person goes out and votes on every single issue.
The ballots are going to be 3,000 answers, questions long.
People don't understand the idiosyncrasies of these laws.
Well, they don't explain them.
Wait a second, Brian. And they're often, in the narrative of the law, misleading.
Hold on here.
The guy, in a taping this afternoon for Central Florida Spotlight, John Morgan broke the news to me. He has the 766,200 signatures he needs.
Just as I was coming in, I got a text from Ben Polera, who's run the campaign for me, and we officially crossed the finish line.
And even though Governor DeSantis is an outspoken critic of paying workers a minimum of $15 an hour, Morgan...
John Morgan...
He's not an outspoken person of paying them. He's outspoken against making the companies pay them.
I like DeSantis. I like that guy a lot.
Is actually not upset.
I don't know what he's for. I will say this. He's a very smart guy, but he's a very conservative Republican. He has a base of people that, support him. And so he's a politician.
Morgan says the $15 is a moral issue, and he is even more passionate about it than ever after a trip to the region where Jesus delivered the Sermon on the Mount.
This is where he gave us our instructions for life. This is not a political issue. This is a moral issue.
I love John to death. He's one of my best friends, but you're jumping the shark on this
no,
one.
he's a genius. Listen to what he's saying.
All right.
The way you couch these terms, he's not making this about left or right. This is about morality.
All right, cool.
And
That's what he's saying anyway.
I know, but what you say is how you couch
John's
the
a
entire
goddamn
thing.
genius. Say it.
He's packaging it nicely.
The cost of hamburgers are going to go up. So what?
Now the Supreme Court will review the language, then voters will...
Again, he's like Peter Pan, is he not? He's kind of like a modern-day Peter Pan, sticking up for the little guy.
review the issues.
We'll
and
go with
Morgan
that. Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah, I'm
they
sorry,
both
Robin
wore
Hood.
green and had a hat with a feather.
They both were good. People liked both of them, did they not? People like Peter
Some
Pan.
people. Says it's not going to be
Robin Hood. I'm sorry, Robin Hood.
easy. Opponents are already arguing that it will drive small businesses out and the cost we pay for things way up.
I'm doing this for the same reason that I put up the millions of dollars to build a food bank. What are you supposed to do with your money if you have good fortune?
Spend it.
My boy.
Buy some expensive junk.
So is he?
You need to buy a bigger plane, John.
Is he
and a
giving
Ferrari.
it? Is he giving it away to people?
I think he's trying to be philanthropic about it.
Voters will need to vote yes if that happens next
I'm
November.
voting
$10 an hour will kick in on September.
I'm voting no. Dan, how are you voting?
I don't care. I think that people have been kept
Yes
down a long
or no,
time.
Dan?
I'm voting yes for the minimum wage
Yes
going
or
up.
no?
Yes to the minimum wage going up.
Brian, how do you vote?
It doesn't hurt me.
I need to read.
Yes or no?
I need to read the amendment to
I
see how it's
understand.
worded, but I think I would support adjusting minimum wage for inflation to
Brian,
where it
that's
should be.
not the question. The question is, I read it. Here's what it is. It
Plus,
goes
what are the
up-
other 30 things they're going to throw in on it?
Not any pork, just that in itself. The minimum wage will eventually get to 15 by 2024 in dollar increments.
I think it's too quick and too
Yes
harsh
or
of an
no?
adjustment. I'll vote no on that. Only not because I don't support minimum wage being increased. I support it being increased in a responsible way that has the least amount of detrimental impact to the economy as a whole. And raising it $1 a year per employee.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Too hard.
Blitz, how about you? Yes or no?
As it is now, no.
No. Okay. Cave?
For the same reasoning as Brian.
Yes or no?
No.
So, Brian, you're the only one that supported it.
No,
I supported
I'm sorry,
it.
Dan.
I supported it.
Dan, you're the only one that supported it. 4-1.
I mean, come on. Is it really going to break the
Everybody
bank to
hung
give
you
everybody
out.
a couple extra
Everybody
bucks?
just completely hung you out.
Dan's
just
the
now.
one that also wants to give everyone a Ferrari.
Exactly. I'm giving everyone a Ferrari, and everyone gets $15 an hour.
And it's
Minimum.
easy to say that when you're driving a Ferrari and you're making, $1,500 an hour, Danny.
Just to be clear, it needs to be higher.
Sure.
But just picking out an arbitrary number, why not make it $20 an hour? Let's do it.
20.
I mean, it has to be tied to some sort of economic sense. And that's the problem I have with it. It's just picking arbitrary numbers, setting arbitrary timelines without studying the issue and the impact that it's going to have.
I need to have a sound effect when you guys are getting a little,
But,
I'm getting a little.
but Brian, I work at McDonald's and I can't afford to buy a house. How am I going to buy a house?
You don't. My message to you is home ownership's a joke. You never own your house. And so,
and especially when they take it from you because you didn't pay your taxes.
well, it's not.
Did I just
that's
say that?
but you never
Outburst.
own it. Think about it. Even if you pay off your mortgage, you still have to pay property tax. You still have to carry insurance.
Dick Fabrizi used to
You
tell
don't
that
have
to
to
me
carry
all the time.
insurance,
He
but
goes,
you'd
"Let
be
me
an
tell you
idiot."
something, Minga." I go, "What?" He goes, "You never really own your home." I go, "What do you mean you don't own your home? You're loaded. You paid." I always got to pay $22,000 a year to Pinellas County property taxes, and I always got to do this, and I always got to do that. You never really own your home.
You don't. It's a constantly.
You know what they should
constantly have to
do
put
is they
money
should
into
get a hold of rich people like Dr. Diaco and be like, "Listen, your property taxes are," and I'm just going to, Dan, I'm just going to throw a number out there. Don't even correct me, okay? But listen, Mr. Johnny High Roller, your property taxes are $30,000 a year, okay? Now, if you pay us,
Dan says $30,000 a year. Let's sign that deal now.
You pay us a one-time fee. Like, Brian, you make it like 10 years worth of property taxes. If you pay us $300,000 right now, you can have lifetime of property taxes.
Do you know how you get that? Marry a disabled veteran. And you get the veteran gets lifetime, no property taxes, and when they die, their spouse gets the same.
Is there a Tinder app for that? Can I get a woman that got her legs blown off in Vietnam?
100% disability from the military, and you don't pay property taxes in Tampa.
Can I get an amputee woman? And I'm saying that as a smart ass. I'm not saying that as I'm making fun of it. But I mean, you know, there's that would
They're
be
the ones that own it forever.
That's the new website.
And as they should. You know, I think that is absolutely pretty, you know, cool of the government to give them at least that.
And I think
we
it's
treat our
reasonable
veterans
that-
like crap.
Right, absolutely. And
I think
it's
it's a great thing.
I think it's reasonable to not let the numbers escalate too much per year if you continue to own your same house for 30 years.
I'm way late.
I agree.
I am way late. Way late. Are you gonna start your carving?
I've been drawing on the
He has
pumpkin
been.
now, so
I
I'm
don't
doing
think
the pre.
I don't think just sitting in your house deserves a reward. I actually think that everybody should be taxed at the same rate, regardless of how long they've been there.
It's not a progressive tax.
Yeah, but what if? But here's
That's
his
not a
point.
progressive
His
tax.
point, Brian, is like, what if you get in a house because it's cheap and you know in the middle of nowhere, and in 30 years it's now the center of town, and they're charging you a huge amount of interest. Or
You should
taxes.
be locked into what that
What,
thing was
what
worth
I
10
think,
years ago.
what I think is more people should be like Fish on Jay, who just super chatted $15.99 so that Bubba can start affording his
So Bubba can go to
$15
break.
minimum wage he's going to have to pay.
That was a horrible tie-in, cheesy nut hut. You know what? I heard Mason's looking for some help. Tukey, Brian.
More of the Bubba Radio Network after this.
You think Mason Dixon would have me?
No, you're too smart.
Friday.
Plus, they literally only talk like in 2-minute segments.
Okay, I need surgical instruments.
Oh, here.
You need light?
I got
Hey,
it.
a little bit of light. I got.
Is that light good? Is that light
So
better?
is that basically what we want to do?
It looks good, but you know you can't cut around that.
I know that.
Yeah.
I had to do that, and I was just trying to draw just a basic template.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have drawn underneath it.
I understand that. I'm not gonna make that mistake.
Okay.
When I'm cut.
You might be able to still wipe it off.
Make sure you guys are on camera.
Okay.
Wish I had this thing this morning. I could have gone through this
Yeah.
in
My God.
fucking 10 minutes. Or 5 minutes. Rather than the 15 minutes it took me. I did a good job, though. That's pretty good.
You did a great
For a
job.
plastic spoon.
I'm not criticizing
Yeah.
anything you did. You did great.
That's a clean cut, man. That's a nice pumpkin, too. Give you a nice canvas to work with. Just don't cut the money makers, Dan. Don't cut those hands.
I need a paper towel or something. I don't want to make a mess.
Okay, I'll go grab you.
There's some right here.
Oh, you got a roll right next to you. Here, let's put it underneath.
Yeah, I don't want to make too much of a mess here.
'cause
I don't want upsetting you. You know, there's rules.
you want to do it on. Oh, I guess you can't because they want to see it. Thanks, buddy.
Can take Pookie out.
You got a newspaper or something you can put underneath it?
We got the. I'll put this paper towels on the floor.
Pookie. Pookie, come on. This is the nicest that Brian's ever been to Dan. Usually he's mean to Dan, but because Dan's doing something.
We're teammates.
See, I think that's part of the issue is you two need to do team building.
That's it. We do.
We need
to go to a ropes course together. We need to do some trust falls.
Maybe an escape room. Maybe an escape room kind of deal.
Oh, we'd kill an escape room.
Oh
All those
yeah,
little
we would
puzzles.
be great. I would put us against your entire crew. There's just Dan and I in the room versus 6 of you.
What are you saying about me and my guys?
I'm saying that Dan and I in an escape room together, I'd put us against just about everybody in the world.
Me and you versus the world, Brian.
Yep. I feel like it's that way already, buddy.
Dan, be careful. No
He is going full speed.
You got 2 hours to get this done.
Like
You
it's
got an
a
hour and a
race.
half. It's not a speed deal, Dan.
Yeah, Dan, you're not.
No, it's not a speed deal, bro, but
Bro?
I'll play around, bro.
All right, bro.
Come on, bro.
Come on, brosif.
Look at that.
Pookie,
Yeah, let's see if we can get some. I'll try and rub off your overdraws.
Oh, my bad. I got it.
Just trying sabotaging us.
No.
Some more light.
Let's see if I can. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can. We're screwed on that.
About time to go to the bathroom. Bubba, I'm sorry, but I gotta go to the bathroom. Sure.
Right. Use my bathroom.
Every time I carve a pumpkin, it gives me the shits. This is gonna be shitty.
7:15. Still not here.
He went crazy with the pen, man. Look at the. I mean, the nostrils. Our pumpkin's gonna be crappy. I could have done a better job drawing it. I thought he talked himself up so
Yeah,
big.
I know. Like
This right here is your competition.
You guys are gonna probably lose.
I bet he's a good artist. I bet he can sketch and doodle pretty well.
If you replace the R in artist with a U.
Right now? You think this is just a rough end?
No, this is gonna be pretty bad. This is I mean, it's gonna be an okay pumpkin, but he overdid it with the pen. Like
you could take alcohol and rub that off.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to rubbing alcohol.
Which might discolor the pumpkin though.
Nah, I don't know that rubbing alcohol is gonna
Pumpkin might
discolor.
have Michael Jackson like splotchyism.
Well, that's the idea. We're going with Michael Jackson face.
Pumpkin white face.
Yeah, now we are because the nose even looks.
Dan?
Yes, sir.
Brian said that he thinks that your pumpkin's kind of shitty and that you're gonna get that your mad scientist sketching bullshit's not gonna be able to.
He went a little crazy with the pen.
I'm just saying, like.
Wait till I mean, is a contest with a light behind it, so see how well it looks in the low light with the candle.
Yeah.
It's not just like.
No, we're gonna have them put little lights in them.
It's gotta be jack-o'-lantern.
We're gonna put them up on the stage.
You may have to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, I will. I will. I'll do that.
So Dan, are you saying this is just a rough end right here?
You're not gonna see the drawings because it's gonna be low light.
No, we got rubbing alcohol to take it off.
Yeah, it'll come off with the alcohol.
Yeah.
Come right
I
off.
didn't know that we had rubbing
It might
alcohol.
cause the pumpkin to blotch.
Yeah, we don't want that.
That might be what you're going.
We don't want pumpkin ventilago.
Vitiligo. Ventilago.
Vitiligo.
Jeez, I hate having to correct the
Medical terms.
Medical terms.
I bring everything to zero, Mangrove Jones.
Live from the OG Royalty Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. Brian, you must know that we're on. The YouTube chat animal is far more wild, if you will, than the more refined chat of Twitch. Twitch is a little bit nicer.
This is what happens when you don't have a cover charge at a club.
Yeah,
That's funny.
This is what that's funny, Brian. So the YouTube chat, man, you're right. It's like not having a cover charge on biker night, right?
Yep. No cover charge, and you get these people. You go over to Twitch, you got a cover charge, you get the classy folk.
Yeah, exactly. Today after the show, we'll do the great BRN Bubba Army pumpkin carving bonus content, if you will. The teams are me and Ciroc, Janessa and Colton, Blitz and Caveman, Stone Jelly Legato and Lummox. That's if Janessa makes it in today. I don't think she's still here.
What's the over-under on that?
I would say.
I said it was going to take her an hour and 20 minutes. I think she'll be in the next 5 minutes.
You think by 7:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying probably. But she also got snarled up in traffic compared that she's not used to this volume of traffic. Like she's in traffic right now, right? Like if you're traveling at this time, you're in it.
It's starting to build. It's starting to get bad right about now. Around 7:30, 7:45, it really starts to get bad. Around 8 o'clock, it peaks, and then it slowly dissipates after that.
Is that how it goes?
Yep.
When you're not on the air and your offices are near here, obviously, what's your daily regiment? What time do you leave?
Well, it depends. Sometimes I bring my daughter to preschool on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I go in a little bit later, and it's actually nice because I'll leave around 9, drop her off around 9, and then it's just smooth sailing on in.
I know, but like on an average, say you got to get to the office by, what time do you try to be there, by 8?
No, if I have to get in by 9 or 8:30 or 9, I've got to leave. And I live, it's typically a 10 or 11 minute drive. I've got to allow for a half hour.
Dan, how about you? Well,
mine's a 13-minute drive to work, no matter what the traffic is.
No matter if you're in the soup or not.
No, it doesn't matter because it's just Bayshore. It's just I drive down Bayshore and I'm there.
Blitz, if you would try to drive here to the studios, like if you wouldn't leave your house till like 7, you're done. Trying to go here.
Oh no, John Witherspoon died.
He did?
Yeah. Somebody,
just now?
Somebody just Jamie Flynn just posted it on YouTube.
Yeah,
chat.
he did.
Who's John Witherspoon?
Oh,
He's the
from
dad
Friday?
from Friday.
Eating up all the hog mog, all the pig's feet.
But yeah, it takes me 20 minutes to get here normally. If it's with traffic, it's at least an hour.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Did you see where Popeyes is? This is like a Brian Matroni, really kind of dick, but yet really, really cool. That's the way a lot of your things are, Brian. They come across, they're kind of a dick move, but they're really cool and very smart sounding.
Yeah, it's a
like
good
you have
move.
smart stuff. It's just it's usually a little abrasive and dickish.
Yeah.
Start lining up because Popeyes now is sending its fans into overdrive as it confirms the sold-out chicken sandwich will return this Sunday. And the reason why they're rolling it out on Sunday is because Chick-fil-A's is closed on Sunday.
It's so smart. And
It really is.
It's awesome.
Is it? Has anyone had that sandwich? Is it
No,
that good?
but supposedly it is absolutely. I mean, I don't know, but everybody was going insane over it. I can only imagine what the lines are going to be like Sunday.
I haven't had chicken in 7 years, and I would almost want to break it to.
But is
to
it going
try
to
that
be?
sandwich.
Is it going to be like it was, where they literally have, an hour wait? Even if they do have them, like, is it going to be that, you think?
I think it's going to be at certain Popeyes in certain areas. You're going to be waiting a while to get this sandwich.
The long, agonizing chicken sandwich, chickenless wait is now over. Popeyes is officially bringing back its fried chicken sandwich Sunday, this coming Sunday, after it sold out across America this summer. The restaurant chain announced today that after a 3-month-long wait, it's finally ready to restock its locations in the U.S. and with
I think every Popeyes on Sunday will have an hour-long wait, and by like Wednesday, nobody will care.
Bubba, do you think I could open up a business called like Reheats or something like that, where I go to Chick-fil-A late Saturday night, buy up all of their sandwiches, and then reheat them and sell them off the side of the road on a Sunday?
I think you could until Chick-fil-A knew that you were making a business of their chicken sandwiches, and then they would just throw them away to the rats instead of selling them to you. Right? That's how it happens.
Yeah, but I would get straw men. I'd have straw men go and purchase the sandwiches for me.
Right. Yeah, right. You're going to have homeless
They'll make
people
straw
go.
purchases illegal.
They make straw purchases illegal.
So the bottom line is Popeye. I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And, everybody that's in the chicken sandwich world, so to speak, you can't get anything from Chick-fil-A. I mean, the whole thing's a swipe on Chick-fil-A.
Did you see that one interstate sign that they had on that video? That at the tail end it said, have the interstate signs and they say Chick-fil-A restaurants ahead, and they had Chick-fil-A on there and it says closed Sundays. So they were putting the Popeyes one next to it and it says open Sundays.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny. I love the
Popeyes.
troll.
I like the Popeyes is coming out swinging, right?
Yeah,
Because for the most part, Chick-fil-A has just absolutely dominated the chicken deal, has it not?
It's the original chicken sandwich.
And, everybody that's in the chicken sandwich business has been Chick-fil-A's bitch, right? And it looks like Popeye's kind of making Chick-fil-A their bitch a little bit.
Well, they're going to be cutting into their market share. Chick-fil-A is sweating it. That's why they brought out some macaroni and cheese. They need to compete.
Here we go.
The fast food wars are going to be incredible for America. America wins with the fast food wars.
NCAA now has made a ruling, or they're getting ready to vote on. They're going to vote on, as California went first and Florida went second, NCAA athletes being able to collect, get money from their likeness and be able to hire agents. Don't you think that on the surface it looks really, really good, but be careful what you ask for, and don't you think that the world of the shady agent / all these, it's going to get shady?
It's going to get really shady. Here's the three problems.
Bring it out into the light, it gets less shady, right?
Well, it's going to get shady. You're going to have a bunch of really well-paid kids in college against all the other poor college kids, just dominating them financially.
Yeah, so the lead.
How do you divvy it out fairly?
So you're saying this, Danny? Like, if you're the starting quarterback for Alabama, right? You might be rolling up in a Ferrari, but the starting center, who's just as important to the football team, going to be
Ford Fiesta.
He's still riding a scooter. But that guy blocks for that quarterback. That quarterback is as good as he is on somewhat of this guy's skill. I mean, don't you think that you're opening yourself up for a lot of dissension?
And the really smart kid that needs college and is going to really contribute to society over the next 50 years is driving a rideshare Uber because he can't afford either one.
Driving. But here's the thing, Dan. It's already like that. Alabama and Clemson have played for the national title the last 3 years. The same 12 teams are rotated in and out.
So how do you make the money fair for everybody? Or
you
can't
don't make it fair.
So how do you? Everyone's got cuts
the
on
market.
The
The market determines what's fair.
So Brian, the only way they could do this is let's say, okay, Alabama. Let's just use them and Clemson. Okay.
Right.
Now, what I think arguably the team may have 90 kids on it. I think 90 to 100.
They have 90 on the active. I think at one point they can carry 105.
All right,
so roughly 100.
Roughly 100
for conversation.
So whether you're the second string punter, you're on the active roster, or you're the starting quarterback, the second string punter makes $0 on his jersey. The starting quarterback makes a lot. You throw all that into a pool, and it's equally divided amongst those that are on the starting roster. That's the only way that you could make it fair, where you're not going to have
starting roster. But what about the guy that gets pulled in?
No. Anybody that's on the traveling, and that could be first and second teams.
Oh, okay, not the starting team, but the starting roster.
The traveling roster.
The travel roster. Okay.
Because the travel.
That's everybody that's important.
Right. That's first and second. That's your backup long snapper. That's guys that we may never see any action, but they're on the active roster. Right.
Yes.
You've traveled with the team.
Yes, I know the distinction.
There's 53 guys on the Bucs, only 22 starters.
Right.
Right.
And 45 would travel.
Right. Exactly. So your traveling squad, for Alabama, I think Division I guys travel about 75. I think about 70 to 75 kids go. So that traveling squad, now, of which 22 are starters. So you have 40, 50 some kids, that are going to get a really nice share of money, or they're going to get nothing, and that starting quarterback gets it all. So, I mean, if you break it up amongst the active the active traveling roster, I think that's fairer. So that long snapper, that second string that would get nothing, instead of the starting quarterback getting 100,000, everybody gets 10.
And who's going to be against that? The starting quarterback.
Right.
He's going to fight that one.
It's going to be interesting to see what the rules they put in place.
Yeah, that's really what's going to determine this. It was inevitable with what California and Florida was doing, that the NCAA was going to react because they want to get out in front of it and control it.
Of governors on Tuesday unanimously approved new rules to allow college athletes to earn money off their name.
Again, Dan, if they don't lump this into a pool that the team can divide up and they just do it's individual, get what you can, it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be the Wild West.
And image. Chris Martinez has more on what this decision means going forward.
I'm a center, but I identify as a quarterback.
Yeah.
The National Collegiate Athletic Association has voted unanimously to allow students.
Listen, man, if they do it the way I propose, I have no problem with it. I think it will be a great thing. I really do. But if they do it where, you get what you get, where, the starting quarterback's going to sell more jerseys and, than the, backup slot, that's going to be a problem.
Was the problem jerseys, or was the problem like EA Sports during college football games?
All of that.
Where's the big money, Brian?
It's everything.
It's merchandise.
They put these kids on
it's just all the jerseys at the college.
They put these kids on billboards to sell season tickets.
Right.
They are profiting off their
lot
likeness.
of different ways that they make money from these people's likeness, and then all needs to go into a pool.
Student athlete.
Now, see, I'm not for, it all goes into a pool, and the girl that's, backup breaststroker on the swim team gets the same thing.
That's fair. But that's what's fair. That's how they're
I
going
would
to do it.
love to be the backup breaststroker.
That's how they're going to do it.
No, I'm just saying that you can't do it that way, but that's probably why they're going to do it.
If you can't give the quarterback more money than the third string center, then
I'm not talking about team. I'm not talking about the football team.
But what I'm saying is, Bubba, is that if you can't give different monies to the quarterback versus the punter, then you can't give different monies for the football team versus the basketball team, and you can't give different monies for boys sports versus girls sports.
So you're saying
if you carry that argument all the way through.
Well, when I buy EA Sports Women's College Volleyball 2023,
then you can cut that pie up.
You can cut
and
that
the
pie
NCAA
up.
is going to take a chunk of it.
Needs to be paid for their name, image, and likeness. In a statement, the NCAA Board of Governors wrote, "We must embrace change to provide the best possible experience for college athletes."
But do that in a way that's consistent with the collegiate model of sports.
The
right,
NCAA
He just said it. It's consistent with the way the NCAA does sports.
Because
they
right now, the
reason
why that the University of Florida has a girls softball team is because the University of Florida football team is raking in the money,
funding it.
So I mean, that's the model, right?
Yep. That's what's going to happen.
Pressure to act.
Well, I don't have a problem with that either. I don't.
After California became the first state to pass a law allowing college athletes to sign endorsement deals beginning in 2023.
See, now, so this makes it sound like it's individual.
So
the California law, yes.
Well, I think there's probably going to be two aspects to it. I think probably the way that's going to make it the most fair is there's going to be like a minimum wage that all the players get a baseline, and then the super elite stars that are signing individual contracts
are
be able to get extra compensation.
So then, do we do away with sports scholarships?
Well, I don't know.
I think. Here's the solution. Here's the solution. You ready?
Okay.
You have a choice.
Although I was in the middle of a sentence. But go ahead,
because
please.
I have the right
You
solution.
guys both interrupt each other all the time. So
here's the solution. You give them the option. They can either choose to take the scholarship, or they can choose what they can make off their likeness. So you
So a guy comes in and he signs the likeness deal, but he tweaks his ankle as a sophomore and can't play.
And that's on him. He made a decision.
That's on him. He made that decision.
Meanwhile, they owed him a scholarship for the 4 years, so he's able to continue his education. But he chose. See, that's going to be a problem too.
But you make that choice, and that's a fair way to do it.
17-year-olds and 18-year-olds making that choice.
No way they're going to do that.
Well, we also send them to war.
We send them to war. We allow them to take out hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. They can get a credit card.
We don't ever toughen up. We pussen up. So here's what's going to happen: you keep your scholarship, and we'll throw money into this pot that everybody's going to get. That's what's going to happen. And if you're a superstar and you can cut another side deal with Nike, let it eat.
So here's the problem, Bubba. Here's the problem, Bubba, is that hasn't happened in professional sports. Have the football players that are making all the money taken care of, the punters and the other guys, the jabroni third string, kick return guy that gets $800 a year. Is Tom Brady taking his money and sharing it with the jabronis on the team? No.
Is Bubba sharing his money with SJL?
Are there current guys that are making $30 million a year sharing it with the old guys that are retired, that are broke and desolate?
I know. Where does it stop? Where does it stop?
But no one shares. No one shares unless they're forced to. No one's giving a penny. You think Bill Gates is giving money to just random people in this neighborhood because he wants to share with his community? No. None of those guys do. They all hold on to every dollar they can.
So what's going to happen here?
To their benefit.
What's going to happen here then?
That if they don't have a minimum compensation for everyone, then they're going to be left out.
I know they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. But I think they're also allowing you to go out and do your individual deals as well. And I think that's where the shadiness comes into play.
So Tebow, 10 years ago, he could have signed multi-million-dollar endorsements. But do you think he should be a $10 million man as a junior in college?
Yes, he should have been.
Or do you think that money should be deferred, maybe? Or how do you control it? And really,
it's going to be the Wild West. It's going to be all bad. I'm just going to tell you, man. No matter how you frame this, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Now, I think there's something that needs to be done, but they got to have some rules. And being able to go, rogue and go do your own deal, I think's the problem.
But at least some of these college kids that were superstars in college, that were, household names in college, but didn't get to the pros because of an injury or because they just weren't quite able to make that transition, those guys I feel good for. I feel really good for those guys because they busted their asses in high school, junior high, and in college. They never made it to the pros, so they never see that payday, but they gave up their bodies and that dream. And they should get some pay.
Well, perfect example. Quentin Flowers from USF, quarterback, turned around the school for a minute, led him 27-2 as a starter.
And never made a dime.
He's on a practice squad in the NFL, grinding it out, trying to get into the new XFL. He could have easily made $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 while he was in college.
Tebow could have made millions in college.
Tebow's doing okay.
But still, he didn't make a lot of money as a pro. He didn't have like an amazing pro career compared to his college career.
But everybody's freaked out. With him comes a big circus Jesus sideshow. They don't want that.
They don't want that.
There's so much money flying around, and everybody is able to grab it, except for the student athletes who are actually the talent on the field.
How about the backup long snapper for one spring training deal at Indiana State, circus 85?
Or the court,
$6
or the pitch, or whatever.
$6.
Creating the revenue stream.
The NCAA
Yeah, but Bubba,
asked
if it wasn't
each of
for
the
that, you wouldn't have had your night with Gary Kelly.
Gary Gray.
Gary Gray, I'm sorry. Kelly Gray. Kelly Gray.
Kelly Ring.
Did you do like
You're damn right I
5
did.
lines of cocaine in the Ferrari?
No, he's probably on his 6th monster by
My
now.
Lord, it's like you have Tourette's. Like just shotgunning, stupidity, blam, 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 blam.
He's on monster number 4, and he didn't get his normal commercial break release.
Oh, okay. I got it. Let me do so. Dan, let me give you the ability to go release, okay? So we can calm you down a little bit.
More of the Bubba Radio Network after this.
No, okay, that's great. That's exactly how I want it. Perfect. 9 seconds is great. Thank you, buddy.
So, Brian, help me draw a better mouth on this. Draw a mouth, because you draw a nice cube. You drew a beautiful cube. So I want you to draw a better mouth for me, and I'll cut it. Just draw a scary mouth. I'm not sure. I like the mustaches, maybe.
I want you to draw a better mouth. Do it now.
And then I'll cut it out.
All right.
Well, he's not cutting. He needs to contribute a little bit. I don't like my mouth.
What do you, when you say better? What do you want?
Scary, angry, teeth, vampire. I mean, what's your image? What's your vision?
I mean, we can have
You can
more,
draw it on paper
we
first.
can have more
Draw-
teeth. You want more teeth?
We can have more teeth. Although, this pumpkin didn't necessarily go to the dentist.
Come and fix this mouth that he already jacked up. Brian, come in here and fix this woman's boobs. Let's make them look boobier.
See, Dan's not really fucking smart because he should have incorporated boobs.
Yeah.
On his thing.
Fix his teeth. What about what's going on up top with the hair? Come fix my vision, Brian. Oh, this is terrible.
Is there donuts out there?
Yeah.
I'm just now getting my shit together where I'm a little bit ahead, even though we're behind.
Mustache. I don't know what he was thinking there. He's kind of going with like
pedo deal.
Weird Asian Fu Manchu. Do a goatee. I don't know. He can deal with the mouth like that. I'm gonna end up carving the dang thing because he's gonna be out of here in an hour.
Oh, you think he's just
He's running out the clock. Oh, Eric Francis with the super chat, $5. Thank you, Eric. Bubba already called Janessa Frank, and he told her to get in ASAP as possible. And apparently that means at least an hour and 40 minutes from the time she was called. I think she's going to get fart bucketed. I think that's the only proper punishment for being this late. Liquid ass. Dan's good at arm wrestling. I think Sirach would beat Dan at a lot of things athletically, but arm wrestling is one where I might be betting on Dan. Dan might snap Sirach's arm. Dan, you would beat Sirach in arm wrestling, right? Apparently he did a video cutting a promo on you saying he would destroy your ass. But I think I said the one thing I think you would beat him in athletically at this point is arm wrestling. I fixed the mouth up a little bit. I can put more
It
teeth.
needs to be a bigger mouth. It needs to go way up here. It needs to go way up here. It needs to be all jagged. I know what I'm doing.
You want the rubbing alcohol to clean it up a little bit?
You got some?
Yeah.
Just so I can
Clean it up a little bit?
clean it up a little bit. It needs to be a bigger, more open mouth with a lot of teeth.
There you go. Yeah, clean up all of that while you're at it. The hair needs to be. I think we need to rethink that too.
I agree with you on that one. I don't like the hair as much. Although I like the there's a little V I'm gonna put like right here. This V, corrugator V.
Oh, yeah,
looks-
I like that.
That looks
yeah,
even
yeah.
more angry.
Make it
So
angry.
we'll
There you
figure
go.
that.
The V is a good idea. The corrugator V.
All right. Big mouth.
The rubbing alcohol has a weird effect on the video when you film it.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
The little purple.
Brian, you said 7:30.
Yeah, I was off.
Maybe she's quitting. What do you think?
Yeah, you can take your time and do a good job with it.
I'm gonna do a good job. Just doing spacing.
Are you feeling spacey, Danny?
He's spacey like
Danny, are you
Kevin.
getting spacey with it?
You got a little spacey with it.
Here we go.
Live from the OG Royalty Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. The holidays are, I think I saw that's like, what, 60 days or less? 80 days? How many days till Christmas?
It's got to be down to like, what, 55 at this point? 54?
Rain Dan could probably just off the top of his head being October 30th, calculate it like
55 days.
About 55.
55 days.
My initial was correct.
Anyway, you might want to be thinking about how you could maybe save some money and not get killed in interest rates and credit card deals for Christmas. And that would be to pay off these credit cards that you got jacked up in the 20s right now. Pay them off now. And instead get something like in a 5.95 rate or something like that. Much lower than the national average of over 20%. It is, of course, lightstream.com/BTLS. You must use the BTLS kicker. It's the only way for my listeners to get the special interest rate discount, which could be up to 0.5. The only way to get the discount is to go to lightstream.com/BTLS. And subject to credit approval, rate includes point auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply. Offers subject to change without notice. From $5,000 to $100,000 can be yours in your grubby little hands by later this afternoon. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to talk to anybody. It's all online. And you fill out some stuff, and they let you know if you're approved. It's a division of the SunTrust Financial Group, so they're very trustworthy people. And again, you could get something down as low as 5.95 for a new car, for a home remodel, whatever, a boat, whatever you want.
lightstream.com/BTLS.
Do you think Janessa's quitting?
I think that Bobby Eicholt's just $10 super chatted. I don't know about Janessa quitting, though.
Thank you, Bobby Eicholt.
I bet she went right back to bed.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
She forgot to set her alarm.
See, I don't think that I call her back. Like, I just let it run its course at this point, right?
I think you call her back.
The old Bubba would have called her back, and the new Bubba's like, hey, the show's doing well without you. I like the dynamic that we got here. Get your ass in here if you want to be here. If not, let me know. I've not heard from her, though. The old Bubba Blitz would have called.
Well,
where are you at? What's going on?
After you called her, you texted her?
Yeah.
Did she reply to that text at all?
Yes.
Okay, so she was still awake for a few minutes.
So I texted her. Remember, I did the disclaimer text.
Yeah.
I said just got off the phone with you. Please don't speed and drive safely. That was at 6:06 a.m. Immediately at 6:06, she says, "I'm getting ready. I'm sorry, I will. I'm getting ready now." And that was at that very same minute, 6:06.
Oh, so that's an hour and 45 minutes ago.
Well, hour and
39, but yeah,
hour and 39 minutes ago. But it's probably an hour drive with traffic and 30 minutes to get ready because you're a girl. So that should be putting you in about right now, right?
She should be here. She should have been here at 7:30.
All of this just because she doesn't want to carve a pumpkin with Colton.
Yeah, she said, but she was the one that was going to bring up I'm going to ghost it and like hold his hand.
Oh,
and
yeah,
get them all gimmicked up. Dan, how is your guys' the pumpkin carving that we do today right after the show exclusively on YouTube, youtube.com/Bubba Army. You can watch us live now, right now. Hi.
And just for the record, there is virtually no traffic across Courtney Campbell this morning. It's pretty clear sailing.
Thank you for that traffic update. If you were just pounding your chest like you were from a helicopter, it would have been so much more.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and give that? Brian, throw it over to you. Brian, how you doing on traffic on the Courtney Campbell?
We're doing good out here on the roads, Bubba. We're from the OG Royalty Studios helicopter, and we're coming to you with this traffic update. The Courtney Campbell is clear, so Janessa has smooth sailing into the show an hour and 45 minutes late.
That's actually what they sounded like, too. That's what Gary McHenry always sounded like.
Mm-hmm. Dan,
only he was in the backseat of a Cessna.
The pumpkin carving deal is today after the show, but you and Brian have to do yours while you're here on the air, and I don't think it's going as well as you thought. I mean, I hear a little dissension over there. Like, you need to do this and you need to do that, and so Dan, I mean, can you give me a pumpkin report, Dr. Diaco?
Pumpkin's doing great, bro.
Holding it up in the air, you want to put it on the camera, buddy.
How's that so far for the pumpkin? It's a little bit of a rough draft. I'm going to let Brian kind of clean it up on the last hour. I'm going to do the big stuff.
You're going to roughen it in, then you're going to let,
I'm closing it up. I'm stitching it up.
I'm going to be honest with you, Dan. That's not too bad. That's not too bad,
and
buddy.
He free-handed it.
Yeah, you did. Like, Dan, I mean, it looks pretty damn good, buddy.
Well, thank you. I hope it's a contender.
I was walking out front as Dan was walking inside, and he goes, I think I know what I'm doing. I got it. I know what I'm doing. He came in and knocked it right out.
I needed some inspiration.
Yep.
You are weird. Here is that. Remember that pastor from Orlando that was also a radio host? And they hemmed him up on some child touching deal. And he was like, I'm going to go to trial or something like that. And I guess he offed himself. I mean, when you're hemmed up on child touching charges and you kill yourself, I think you pretty much...
You're letting people know what you did.
Kind of are.
Well, Jim, the daughter-in-law of Brian Fullwider called 911 last night a little bit before midnight, saying that her husband, Fullwider's son, had just received a text message from his father saying that they needed to report his death by suicide.
Can you imagine if you texted your son and said, you need to call, and you don't live with him, and you need to call in the suicide here at my house?
It's so selfish, and it's a terrible thing to do. I mean, you don't need to call in anything. No. Why? Just let him find you. Don't put that on your son.
The 911 call released this afternoon, a daughter-in-law to dispatcher, included details of their personal despair, a recording we're not going to play. We can tell you Fullwider apparently sent a text to his son and daughter-in-law telling them to call police and report his death by suicide. Police were urged to hurry, but in the few minutes...
He was a real charlatan.
It took, rescuers reported...
All dressed up like a pastor,
Oh, I thought you meant he was born in Charlotte.
No, what I'm saying is like a year ago, if you would have gone to Orlando, we're heard in Orlando now, and said, hey, man, tell me about this pastor on the radio. They're like, oh, he's the best. He's a great guy, man of God. Or tell me about Bubba the Love Sponge. Bubba the Love Sponge, that shady mother effer. He taped Hulk Hogan to this. And, yeah, my God, he's the worst. Meanwhile, I'm not and never will I ever attempt to touch a child. I'm not a child molester. I might be some things, and that ain't one of them.
That should be your positioning statement and on your billboards. Bubba the Love Sponge, AM 820. I'm not a kid toucher.
No, 105.5 Florida Man
There you
Radio.
go.
Morning drives. No, I may be the bad guy.
I may be some things,
but I'm not a kid toucher.
I'm not a kid toucher, and guess what? I ain't gonna kill myself because you're not gonna get me hemmed up on a kid touching deal. Promise you.
That
I might get hemmed up on a 1-2 of age hot chick high low. That might be, but I'm never going to get hemmed up with a kid.
She said she just wanted 50 roses. I don't understand what the problem is.
Fullwider was dead.
I had the roses right here.
The cause of death is not being released. Fullwider faced 30 counts of sexual conduct with an underage child between the years of 2005 and 2010, while he was a senior pastor at a Winter Park church.
Yeah, so for all you people that think that church is really good for you, and there's more child bad things touching happens out of church than does anything.
And how old was the kid?
I don't know.
He had just been given bond and released a week ago. The daughter-in-law telling the 911 dispatcher that what happened last night was likely not impulsive. Police say it did appear to be a suicide, but they're waiting for the medical examiner to be certain. The pastor at his former church released a statement starting with, "Our church family is in shock and we are trying to absorb the impact."
Don't you think it would be so cool if the church pastor that still works there, that hired the numbnut, he has to be all churchy and say, "Our church family is in shock and we're trying to absorb the impact of all the events that have..." Why couldn't you say, listen, you know what? The world's a better place without Brian, and we're hoping that he meets whatever maker, whatever, but he's out of here.
You knew he was trouble. Brian with a Y.
Yeah, Brian
Get
with
out
a
of
Y.
here.
Get out of
Brian
here.
with a Y.
I mean, I don't know any cool Brians with a Y.
None. Zero.
Of all the events that have...
I mean, Brian Johnson from AC/DC. Brian,
with an I.
Brian Bosworth.
With an I.
Brian Matroni.
With an I.
So you just can't trust a Brian with a Y?
No. Never.
Never. Why would you use Y as a vowel when you don't have to? There's a perfectly acceptable vowel to use.
I don't know anybody with Brian with a Y. I won't even associate with a guy named Brian with a Y.
Nope.
All my Brians must have I's, period.
Recent weeks. And for now, all we can do is pray for Brian's family and for the victim.
All I can say is see you later, sucker. And your family's a much better family now that you're not part of it. You kid-touching son of a bitch.
He looks like a younger version of you with a goatee.
What? Don't put. He looks like Gilkey.
I'm just observing
Doesn't look like
it.
me. He looks like Gilkey. Doesn't look like me. Don't put me on me when it's really not me.
Look at those eyes, Bubba.
It's not me. Dr. Diaco, come in and help me on this.
A little bit in the eyes, right?
He is sketchy.
No, they're
Brian
saying whether
with
he
no
looks
eyes.
like me. Doesn't look like
he
me.
looked like you.
In the eyes a little bit. In the
eyes. No, you don't got Bubba's
Any
eyes.
man that has deep-set gorilla eyes, that isn't on me. I wasn't the inventor of gorilla eyes. The gorillas were.
Being handled by Winter Park Police.
You son of a bitch. Look in the Gorilla Eye Handbook. It says the inventor of the goddamn gorilla eyes isn't Todd Clem from Warsaw, Indiana. The inventor of the goddamn gorilla eyes is the goddamn gorilla.
Today, they would only say that they had been told Fullwider had died.
Yeah. See you later, buddy.
What a weak punk.
What a pussy. Hi, it's Bubba reporting live from the Law Enforcement Center, and some guy is Brian with a Y that would disguise himself as a preacher and a radio host offed himself because he's a pussy, and he knows that he did it.
Bobby Eicholt's giving you another
And in a statement
$10
this-
super chat and saying, play the video I sent you, Bubba.
I don't know the video that you sent me, Bobby.
Play it.
Afternoon from Fullwider's attorney.
Blitz, are we familiar with the video that Bobby sent me?
I have
He basically
no
said
idea.
None.
that
Zero.
he is now dealing with heartache, and he also was very critical of the attention this case received.
Thank you for the super chat. Go to youtube.com/Bubba
K-Man's
Arnold.
looking in the email
The standings right now are Cable Dogs in first, Bobby Eicholt's really close in second, and Fish on J is in third.
Fish on the J.
Saying it was very much a rush to judgment rather than people waiting for Fullwider to have his day in court.
Yeah, whatever. See you later. The guy who was on the radio and touching kids and praising Jesus offed himself. Yippee-o, or have a parade tomorrow. New York lawmakers now are going to discuss the potential of tackle football being banned for kids under 12. Again, the pussification of America. If you want to send your kid out there and you know the risks of tackle football and he could be concussed, so be it. It's your kid. Kids are like property, ain't they? I mean, our kids.
Well, I kind of think laws like this are trying to protect kids from parents with that attitude.
Well, listen, I played tackle football. There you go. Look
And
at
look,
me.
look how I turned out.
There you go. I answered my own question.
Yeah, there you go.
Dan,
Dead
well, I
in your
mean, Dan,
tracks.
you're a doctor. You have been the team doctor of the Buccaneers by the cable on the dog. $20. Thank you, Todd McCabe, Indiana, Fort Wayne. Dan, you were, obviously a team doctor on the highest level NFL with your father, the longest tenured NFL physician ever. And what do you feel about the one concussion protocol and two concussed?
If you had a son, would you let him play football as a young kid?
Well, there's two questions there. First of all, let me tell you what I feel about head injuries. The current plans and protocols that the NFL have are much better than they had 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, if you get your bell rung,
Even if you say you're okay and they think it's a bell ring and they put you to the tent, right?
They put you in the tent. And
even if you're like, hey, I'm good, they're like, nope, that looked like a helmet-to-helmet bell ring, and get over here, kid. And you have to do it.
And there's two reasons.
Part of the Players Association, like you can't even go like, nah, man, I ain't cool, right?
Nope. You have to have a neurologist available, and you have to be able to evaluate them immediately. And it's a really good rule because a lot of times when you get knocked silly, you are denying the fact you were knocked silly because you don't remember it because you just got knocked silly.
Right.
So you shouldn't be able to have too much say in it personally. It needs to be the other people looking at you from a more of a disinterested
Now,
look.
Dan, when the neurologists take you behind the tent, right? What are they do? Do you know the protocol as to what they're doing?
Well, they're doing a series of things. So first of all, they're checking orientation. They're checking.
You know how many fingers I got up?
No. Where
what day
are
of the
you?
week is it?
Where are you?
Who are we playing?
Who are you? Where
Who's
are
the
we playing?
president?
Right. What quarter is it?
Man, I don't even know who the president is. Regular dog. Obama.
And so
President of what?
What?
Then they'll also do reflexes. They'll look in the pupils. They'll do about 5 quick
Now, Dan,
tests.
if
You
you
can do
got
it in less than a minute.
If you have a concussion, does your pupils dilate or expand? Like what happens?
If you have a real brain injury, your pupil may dilate.
All right, Dan. So let's say
Or
the guy knows
constrict.
what time it is. He knows he's in this particular stadium. He knows his name. He knows the president. But what type of physical signs could he have?
Again, reacting slowly, not being quite there. You know,
Balance.
Bubba, we've all seen people that have been knocked a little silly.
Right.
Not knocked out. When you're knocked like the heck out,
right?
You're knocked out.
Yeah.
You're done for the day.
But
and
knocked-
you should be done for the day.
But like MMA, they get up, they're wobbly.
That's different. And that's
No. When they're not quite knocked out, but
they'll
they
still
got
let
their
him
bell
fight.
rung.
But they'll still let him fight.
Well, until they tap out, yeah.
Right, but they'll
But
still
I'm
let
saying,
him fight.
but that's
That
what those
guy
guys.
won't be
I
able
think
to play.
NFL should be till you tap out.
Nope, because the problem is, here's the problem, and you can ask Troy Aikman this. You can even ask Mike Tyson this. Once you get knocked out, you are a lot easier to get knocked out a second time.
Oh, really?
Especially if it's time related and close in time. Your body learns how to be knocked out. The hardest to get knocked out is the first time you get knocked out. The second time's a lot less force. So when
Once you broke
Mike
that
Tyson,
knockout cherry, then
right,
it's-
exactly. So the problem with Mike Tyson was
Tyson, I'll eat your children.
he got in a really bad car accident and got knocked out before he fought Buster Douglas.
Oh, he did?
Yep. And that's why he was so susceptible to the knockout there. Troy Aikman started getting head injuries, and then every week he was getting head injuries because he was still soft shell.
Well, I think we all agree that concussion protocol is great.
Yeah.
I think the issue here is when you're 7 years old and playing, the coach has no idea what he's talking about.
Right.
He says, you're fine. Get back in there and play.
And they call you, oh, don't be a little baby, don't be a little
Right.
wuss.
and
get
this
back in
damage
there.
is not just damage that
If I was
occurred
a coach
during
Dan,
the NFL.
If I'm the coach and you get your bell ring, your little Dan like, hey, Diaco, get over here. What's your name? Dan, get back in the game.
Exactly. That's the
If
neuro
that.
check. That's the big neuro check.
And if you're a good player, they're going to try to get you, whatever it takes to get you back in the game. They don't
Always,
care.
they don't care.
Yeah.
And that's where it was in the NFL 15 years ago.
Sure.
All right, so do you think that if you think it should be like 100% illegal that that tackle football is not available from 12 and on
I
down?
didn't say that. That's
No,
not what I said at all.
I know, but
Here's what I say.
I'm trying to hold you to that answer.
Okay, I don't know that that's the right answer either. And what I was going to say, one more thought is that these football players, they're having problems in their 30s and 40s. It's not just the trauma they took during their NFL years.
No,
It's
most
the
of it.
college, the high school, the
or
Pee Wee.
younger.
It's the younger stuff. It's accumulation of trauma.
So if you had a son, would you let him play Pee Wee football full tackle?
I would.
He has a son, and he hasn't played Pee Wee
He doesn't
football
want
yet.
to. He doesn't want to. He'd rather race go-karts. And so that's fine. And, go-kart racing is dangerous.
'Cause I know a lot of-
soccer is dangerous. They're all dangerous to some extent. It just depends
Oh, yeah.
on what
the
risks
degree
you're
of
willing to
danger.
manage.
Riding
Yeah,
a bicycle.
surfing.
Yeah, riding a bicycle or anything.
Horseback riding.
Horseback riding, super dangerous. But and my daughter, rode horses for a while. But it was in more of a controlled situation. And if Danny wants to play Pee Wee football for a year or two, that's fine. He's not going to be a professional football player. I don't see that in his future.
Could you see that these various football organizations for young kids may require more extensive training for the coaches, or maybe a doctor or something like that?
They should.
But then they can't afford.
I was gonna say they can't afford
a
that.
doctor.
That's
And
the-
in some of these, and in the communities where these kids are playing and really getting hurt, they definitely can't afford a doctor.
No, they can't even afford uniforms.
Right. It's
They shouldn't play.
Well, that's maybe why they
Yeah.
need a law. Maybe they need to
Right.
enforce that with law, because how are you going to enforce it otherwise?
Some emails that I haven't got to for a couple days. I got to say that yesterday was the funniest show I've heard in a long time. Ray. Yeah, boy, towards the end of the show when we had the Celeste cream pie and the
That crazy
Indiana bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Laura, I think was her name.
We had it was pretty crazy.
I was exhausted listening to her.
I don't know
How
if
many
five-
times did she mention she won a pie baking contest?
A lot. Bubba, you were wondering about daylight savings time. They did it for so that business people could work longer, mainly people outside.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's antiquated and it's saving, not savings.
Is it?
Oh, and Brian, so I mean, you might know, or Dan, that they did. We voted on to do away with that, right?
We need to get federal permission though, and
Okay.
so I don't know where they stand in that process.
Now,
okay.
I lived in Terre Haute, Indiana. There was a little county in Indiana that didn't recognize daylight savings. And so all of Indiana would be central, and it would be like still eastern or something like
Yeah,
that.
there's a little sliver, right? Right
Yeah,
on
there's
the border.
There's a little sliver of Indiana that does not recognize it, and so like Indiana, if you lived in that particular area, you had to compensate the fact that you were an hour, behind all of the rest. Leave it to Indiana.
What a nightmare! I mean, we got to go to that. What time's the meeting? What time's the phone call? Well, it's at 11.
Now,
11,
is that this
what
weekend?
time?
Is it this weekend that you do that?
Yes.
There's two towns on I-10 in Florida that are on opposite sides of the time zone
Yeah, I was gonna say,
line, and they hate each other.
Yeah,
they
the
hate each other.
panhandle, part of the panhandle is in a different time zone.
Man, I'm telling you, over there across the street, we recognize Eastern.
They
but
hate
we
each other, these two
recognize
towns.
Central. So F off. What's noon at your place is 11 here, mother effers.
Eastern is the best time zone. Let's face it. It's
Oh, it is the time
superior-
zone.
It's
It is the time
superior.
zone.
It's that's it.
Well, that's what everything's based on.
So Rick Scott signed the Sunshine Protection Act in March of 2017, but we're waiting for Congress to amend the federal law.
I'm not going to
Since 2017.
Yep. And
Rick Scott.
They're in no rush to do it.
Well, no,
They don't want it. It's going to create confusion, which is why they'll never do it. And
Well,
it's a shame
it
because
creates air
makes
traffic
sense,
control issues.
It
I mean,
makes
there's a
sense in
lot.
Florida to have that because Florida really relies, the whole economy relies on the
daylight.
sun.
We're 2 hours now from Janessa.
Just call her up.
2 hours.
Call her up.
No, I'm not calling her up. That's old Bubba. New Bubba's
I like old Bubba.
I suggested calling her at the beginning.
New Bubba is the pussification of
killed me
radio.
for it.
No, the new Bubba is I'm not sweating it.
Pussification of radio.
No, I'm just whatever.
Call her up. Fart bucket when she gets here.
I heard you guys talking about how hard it would.
Spin the wheel.
I heard you guys talking about how hard it is to walk baby. But may I suggest that after your goat scooter, that you still make baby walk as much as he can for his hooves. It'll be better for him. Well, I mean, I am afraid that if we get a goat scoot or a goat stroller, that baby is going to never have to walk because Joey doesn't know,
Baby has to walk out back though. It's not like baby's got an electric wheelchair.
Well, I think what he was saying was on the I think what he was saying is on the concrete, it helps keep the hooves.
Yeah, but there's concrete out back where baby
not anymore.
walks.
Not anymore. We pinned him up, yeah.
Oh, thanks to Wolf
but
Fencing.
wait a second.
WLFFencing.com.
Right,
fence,
exactly.
fence.
Three F's and fence.
It's a 3F and fence.
Yeah.
But goats don't walk on cement in the wild.
Yeah.
They walk on dirt. So it's a stupid argument.
So, sir, Dan just called you stupid. I saw that you're looking for some type of cart for baby. Please make sure the guys aren't just. Oh, this is the guy that had the.
He's really concerned.
Yeah, he is. I'm working with JVC and beginning to advertise on Florida Man Radio as a promotional deal. When somebody orders on my website and use the coupon code for Florida Man Radio listeners, I wanted to offer them free Florida Man Radio decals or Shannon Burke logos or Bubba logos. I would produce all these decals in-house at no cost.
Yeah, you don't have to ask permission for that.
Cutstownprinting.com. KUTZ town TOWN printing.com.
And send us some stuff.
Yeah, we'll take some
stickers.
swag.
I'm going to put that aside.
I want some Florida Man Radio stickers.
Make some Hunter Law stickers for me, buddy.
After you read my email last week about Janessa's dollar store sound effects, you wondered if I was being a dick. Well, I was just busting your balls. That is what you guys do. Also, I was probably touching myself. I think that Janessa may have been touching herself. Sir, stop. I mean, Jesus, guys get into like a novel about him touching himself to Janessa.
It's the Divinals.
She can't even touch herself. She's not here. Right?
Maybe why she's not here.
Pulled over.
I just wanted to say that the segment of Bubba tearing Lummox and Stone Jilly Logano on Thursday might have been some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard. I think My Boy made that a standalone, did he not?
It is, yes.
Yeah, go to our YouTube channel that you're watching us on after we're done today live, which will be about probably like noon.
And don't forget to give us a thumbs up on this video.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up on this video, buddy, and send me some.
And during the
super
next
chat.
break, we're gonna.
Bob, I have a question.
We're gonna restart the stream next break, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
How would you treat me if it was 8 o'clock and I hadn't come in?
Everybody cuts their own deal, buddy.
And I'm asking
Michael
just
Jordan
for future reference. How
I
wouldn't
be. I wouldn't be happy.
He'd give you a big hug, Brian. That's
so
what
just
he would
like
do.
the NCAA, everybody cuts their own deal, right?
Brian, here's the deal. I wouldn't be calling you nonstop if you're going to get here or not. After I called you at 6:08, now I may not even let you in. I may not even, say I might just once you get here tell you it's too late. I don't know. I mean, I certainly would treat you differently than I'm going to treat Janessa because I treat Dan differently than I treat
I cut a deal with Bubba already, so I know my deal with Bubba. I don't have to articulate it publicly,
Brian,
but we got our deal.
Dan, I don't know if we should have even articulated that we had a deal.
What's the deal?
You just did, Bubba. You said we all cut our own deals.
You and I don't specifically have a deal where you and I said, listen, you know what? You can be that
Apparently
much more.
you do.
No, we really don't.
Well, now I'm questioning this.
Man, Dan, you can't hold water worth of crap.
So do you guys think Janessa's going to show up or not?
I don't know.
I'm surprised.
I'm a little dismayed. I'm a little dismayed and disappointed.
Yeah, because I am a little
taken back,
disappointed.
Because I might have some inside information.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you got?
I got security cameras that I'm looking at.
Right.
And a white car just pulled in.
Oh, so she's here.
Good.
She just pulled in.
Now, do we go to break or do we do this? I think we do this on the air with her coming in.
She's walking in the building right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do it on the air.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live. Here we go.
The suspense is killing me.
Oh, man.
She's got a little outfit on, though. She's trying to soften it.
She's trying to soften the blow.
Took an hour to put it on.
She had to go buy it.
She had to buy it.
Exactly 2 hours and 1 minute and she giggles about it.
From the time you called her.
She thinks it's funny.
2 hours and 1 minute.
Wait till she.
Oh, now she's complaining about her
spins
chair.
The wheel of punishment.
Yeah, now she's gonna be like Tuttle, complaining about her chair and who moved her stuff and.
That laugh, that chuckle is like the middle finger of.
It is the I don't care laugh.
It really is.
It is what you're gonna do about. Come take this receipt.
Big Daddy. Good morning.
Come take this receipt.
Good morning.
Come take this receipt.
Dan, what would you do? Like if what would you do?
I don't think we're allowed to do it, but I'd spank.
Well, Dan,
it's a spanking.
Dan,
It's a
as you're
spanking.
cleaning cleaning your pumpkin.
Was I a bad girl?
As I'm wearing my priest shirt.
No, like for real. Like
my priest costume.
Look at that. You two grab ass and I can't ask you. Brian, let me go over to you. Brian,
I just said I'd spank her. Spank her paddle.
I think you need to treat her slightly differently.
Hey, at least she stopped and got coffee.
Can
she
you
stopped and got herself coffee.
Spank her.
You stopped and got yourself coffee?
What'd you get for everybody else?
Nothing.
Same thing she got yesterday.
Not only that did she stop and get herself coffee, but that probably took 15, 20 extra minutes.
Absolutely.
Oh, the traffic is horrible.
No,
this
it was
time
not.
of day.
We looked.
the
It
accidents.
was absolutely not. I checked the Courtney Campbell.
Oh no, there's a huge accident on Courtney Campbell
I
right
told
now.
you. Always.
Every day.
Huge. I'm not
I
even
never want to
joking.
drive around Janessa because she's always right behind an accident.
You know that you've used accidents now 3
No,
times.
go check right now. There's a huge
now,
accident.
I will say
but not on my side of the road, the other side.
Jeez.
And it's not really either
So,
backed up on either way.
What took so long to get? Like it was 2
Well,
hours.
when you called, you woke me up.
Yeah, when you woke her up from her sleep, Bubba, how dare you?
When you woke me up, I had to shower and get ready, put my makeup on. I'm on cam. I have to look somewhat decent.
And she chuckles about it. Like I should know.
Just F
So that's why it took, because I usually wake up at 4.
You did a pretty darn good job.
Well, when we do
Dan.
go to break, we're going to stop the stream and restart it, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, so that when we break here, we will reset. It has anything to do with Janessa not wanting to be
It's
here.
the 2-hour limit on YouTube.
Yeah.
You could have taken a shower here. We have a perfectly good shower for you to use.
I should have
Did
just
you-
done that.
We probably need to break relatively soon, don't you
Yes.
think, Blitz? Okay, cool. We'll break now. Hold on a second.
The Bubba Radio Network will return after this.